outside of town to cast the fire golem. I think they eventually fixed that, but
Oh, we should test it.
they also ridiculously increased the cost of the fire golem. So the fire golem didn't used to cost that much, but now he's like freaking max fire golem is like freaking 400 mana to cast one golem.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's nuts. And I think that's a direct representation of the bug we used to exploit back in the day in PvP.
You think it would hurt the game if they increase like bone spear damage on Necro?
I mean, it needs to be. It's still subpar, to be honest. Even
Well,
with the best gear possible, Bone
yeah,
Spear
I know.
cannot keep up with Hammerden. And Hammerden
It's
is
like what, 6K?
it's like 7K, I think, at best. I think
Yeah.
I played around with it one day just to kind of like get an
It,
idea. And we
Bone
were
spear wouldn't be bad if they either increase the damage or give it what they did in PD2 with the triple. Like you shoot 3 of them, kind of like a split shot.
well, that's one of the things I was talking about with Teeth. I think Teeth could become a real runner in the game, in the Necromancer's arsenal, if they just took away the what is it called, next hit delay. It has a really bad next hit delay on it,
Yeah.
like multi-shot. Basically just allow Necromancers to shotgun with that thing. It's useless outside of like normal difficulty anyway. Even fully
Yeah.
maxed out and fully synergized, nobody uses that thing. But if you could shotgun with it, very similarly to the way that Charged Bolt is shotgunnable, it would actually become useful against bosses and stuff like that. Especially if you got like 32 teeth and each tooth is doing like a pretty decent amount of damage, and you could shotgun directly into a target.
Well, the other thing that would be nice too is when you telestomp if the target ate all the teeth, kind of like Charge Bolt.
Well, yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
shadows.
saying. Next hit delay.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
next
okay.
hit delay is basically the mechanic in this game that prevents a target from being hit twice by the same ability within a certain period of time. So
Okay, I see.
multi-shot has a next hit delay of 5, which
Yeah.
is 5 frames is enough to make sure that you can't hit a single target with all of the arrows, but short enough that you can hit the target with the next volley of arrows. Teeth has the same delay. It's 5, so you can't hit a single target with all the teeth, but you can hit, like a single target with like the next volley directly after that, no matter how fast you fire. It's short enough that you can actually spam it, but not fast enough, or not no hit delay. Like hammers are no hit delay. Like you can literally hit a target with multiple hammers at a time. So if you had like 3 or 4 volleys of hammers running at the same time, and you had like 3 or 4 converge in the same spot that hit a target at the exact same point, they all get hit. They all get hits. Like 4 or 5 hammers can all hit the same target at the exact same moment, which is kind of silly when a 13k damage ability can have multiple hits on a target. But what's the damage on Teeth? Like max like 400
I think it's like 5 to 720 or something. Like
with all
capped out.
synergies and like
Yeah, full everything. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like nothing by comparison,
Yeah.
and it can't hit more than one target at a time. A Pierce would probably help it too, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that actually, because I think the main thing is like you hit, like let's say like in cows for example, you hit a fucking herd of cows, you're only hitting the front line. You're not hitting it back.
Well, that too, yeah. I mean, it either does not enough damage to a single target or not enough damage to the multiple targets. Like the whole goal of it is to hit everything, and I think that's kind of what it needs to do.
Yeah. But like
Frost,
you said, man, it's like Charge Bolt. The Charge Bolt will hit hard, and you can also stack it. So I mean, like there's no delay.
ow! Did you just bite my beard, sir? That was rude.
I want to level up a Necro now. I haven't played one. Man, last time I played a Necro was back in .08 on the original D2 expansion when they had the '08 Valks. I missed that Necro.
Test out a cold sulky.
Is there codes that you can input for single player? Like, where would I find that? Like, to get gear, runes, or whatever?
What, the Sunder charms?
Well, Sunder Charms or like gear, like just gear in general. Because like I have level 99s, but
I
they
have
have no gear.
I have an entire item pack full of stuff. I literally have every single item, every single rune word, every single anything that you could ever want is in the item pack. And these charms are going to go in that item pack right now. I'm actually going to load them in here and upload them into the pack.
But how do you download the pack? Like I'm really bad with PCs, man. Like I build houses for a
It's one
living.
of my videos. I got a couple of it's
Oh,
actually in every single video description, and also
oh,
my bot literally spams the link in
okay. I'll
chat
check
like
that
on a
out now.
regular basis. He literally just spammed it in chat like right now. I'm really big on selling the item pack because I want you guys to have fun downloading and testing and like playing around with characters. Plus, I did spend like frickin' like a month of my life on that stupid thing, so. And I use it, so I mean, at least I'm using it.
Oh, this is a hero. Okay, this is the thing that you made your firework character with.
Yes, she's in there. She's in there too if you want to play with her.
uh,
Where is the new folder that I just made? There it is.
what is on your shoulder?
It's a chinchilla. His name is Mr. Nimoy.
Oh,
Mr. Nimoy is always with me.
he's
I,
looking to the side. I
a
thought
lot of
like
the
his ear was a face.
a lot of the times he's hiding in my shirt. All right, I'm gonna upload these Sunder charms. Give me just a minute. I need to recompress the folder and then upload it into the pack. I think we're gonna be on what, like version 9 now? Yeah, oh no, version 8. I think we're on version 8. Mr. Nimoy, I don't know what you're doing, sir. You're being very weird. Let me pull up my Google Drive. That's right. Get in there. Have you ever used Hero Editor before?
No. Well, I used a version of one back in like vanilla D2.
Alright, well, let me give you a brief overview real quick so that you know. Alright, so basically how it works is you are going to edit a LOD file, not a D2R file, because it doesn't work for D2R. So you want to go ahead and like put everything that you need into an LOD file. All the LOD files, you don't even have to have LOD anymore. I've got them all like included in in the pack, so you can just pull out any of mine, or you could pull out one of the like the pre-made ones. Load all the items that you want in there. You know, you can set up characters if you want to, and then once you get everything set up, you transfer that file over to your save folder for Resurrected. When you launch the game, Resurrected will automatically convert the file to Resurrected. It is a one-way transfer as far as I know, and it will not it will not go backwards. So you're basically just kind of like one-way transferring items between the games, and you get everything. It's pretty cool. I've got all the rune words in there, even the rune words that are like I said are not in LOD. Like I've got mock versions of them for the LOD players.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I see them. Old patch items. Do you have spurs in there? Oh, 8 items you do. Oh shit.
I do have O8 items in there.
Oh, a Valk. Do you have spurs on here? Or are they just all uniques?
What do you mean? What do you mean spurs?
Soul spurs, sorry. Those rare boots that were duped to like the
They might be
thousands.
in there. They might.
You know what I'm talking about though, eh? Well, actually, there was a bunch of different spurs. There was like soul spurs, something else spurs, which is different variations of rare boots. Oh man, '08 Valor back when it was good.
All right, 9. And there we go. All right, so both the item packs, I got 2 different download files. They're both updated now, so if you guys want to download those charms so that you can play around with them in single player, for those of you who are in single player who've been lamenting the fact that the Sunder charms would not make it to you, well, guess what? Now you have access to the Sunder charms. So go ahead and grab them. The folder is in there for you guys. Somehow I lost my stream for YouTube. Great. Poopity do. I'm having trouble with this stream like all night. Why does it say that I'm offline? If I'm not offline.
I'm still watching your stream. I have to go find it again, though.
I've been on it since before. I didn't have to.
It probably opened. It probably opened up a new. It did. It freaking opened up a new stream. I hate when it does that.
Yeah, you lost like 40 likes on the stream.
So it died and then it came back basically.
Yep.
Annoying. He exploited the ancients. No, I don't really know. I never really was big in the exploit field, Protein. You're unfortunately you're asking the wrong guy. I mean, I do know some exploits within the game, but I generally just don't proliferate them because it's not really my style of play. I'd rather play the game the legitimate way. It was like back when an Elden Ring was brand new and they kept like flying through the air and skipping over half the game and just like not fighting anything. Like I couldn't stand it. Like that's not my style of play at all. Like it just bothers me. Absolutely bothers me. I'm gonna test this on an ice sork. Let's try Wizard Cup over here. Negative cold res though. What is she running? Looks like she's got frozen orb. Frozen orb and frost nova. Let's go.
Is Frost Nova good now?
It has more synergies than it had before.
Yeah. Well, they're higher percentage too, right?
I mean, Frost Nova has always been the superior AoE damage ability, just simply because it hits everything. None of the other AoE abilities that Sorceress has actually hit everything. Blizzard often misses half the targets that you're firing it at. Frozen Orb gets eaten by everything, so the larger the group of monsters are, the less damage it does. So especially if you have like an insanely large number of cows, it just gets eaten by the entire group of cows. I mean, Frost Nova is the only one that actually hits everything around you, no matter what. So like if you had 300 cows around you and you popped off a Nova, it would do insanely more damage than the other two. Especially if you had like 200% faster cast. But it's never been good at single target. It's a terrible single target ability. It has to be it has to be augmented with a single target ability.
I was asking more in retrospect versus because like everyone like used to just make like Lightning Nova. So I was wondering if like Frost Nova is kind of viable now instead of going the Lightning Nova route, you know?
Well, the people that make the Nova Sorks use only Nova, right?
Yeah.
Well, then from that perspective, I would definitely say no. Because it doesn't seem, honestly, like it's good enough to be used by itself. I mean, in retrospect, though, you wouldn't use it by itself because it synergizes with Blizzard and Frozen Orb. So if you were going to be a Frost Nova Sork, you would definitely use it in tandem with Frozen Orb, which is one of the main abilities that it synergizes with. Like, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, I see.
So you're so if you were going to be a Frost Nova Sork, It would be Frost Nova slash Orb or Frost Nova slash Blizzard.
Blizzard. Yeah.
And in certain situations, Frost Nova can be extremely defensive as well because it does chill everything very nicely. It's got that insane chill duration of, was it 41 seconds? Even in hell difficulty, it keeps them chilled for an extremely long period of time. Which is pretty impressive. I've always wanted to build a pure Frost Nova Sork, but it's very difficult because of how much mana it costs. 42 mana cost on a skill that you can spam with like insane speed just eats your mana like no tomorrow. Like even if you wanted to build it properly, like it's just very difficult to build right. I mean, you can literally drain every single point of your mana away in like like 10, maybe like 12 casts, and if you're running really high faster casts, 10 or 12 casts isn't even that long.
Good afternoon.
I don't know, this Sunder Charm works really good. Shank is always immune to cold, that's why I chose him. Specifically because I wanted to play around and see how long it took me to kill Shank with an Ice Sork. This is by far not an optimal Ice Sork either. This is, I believe she's using an Iron Jangbong. Yeah, she's using an Iron Jangbong Archon Staff that's Zodded. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. A Zodded Archon Iron Jangbong, alright? She's got a Guardian Angel Templar coat. Silk Weaves, 2 Sojas, an Arachnid's Mesh, no gloves, no helmet, no
You're basically
charms.
missing plus 20 to skills.
Yeah, like I'm basically missing everything. I got lightning skillers in my stash, which doesn't help me at all. I could put a cold facet. Here, hold on. There's a cold facet right there. Bam. Look at that. In the Guardian Angel Templar coat. Exactly where it belongs, boys. So I actually just did the video on Frozen Orb earlier. I think it was yesterday. And I actually learned a couple things about Frozen Orb I didn't know. So apparently Frozen Orb will show you the projectiles, even if the projectiles are doing nothing. Even if they're not technically even there. Apparently they don't do any damage because they don't actually exist. So, like, say you shot your Frozen Orb exactly correct, and it like disperses inside of a monster. Well, all 16 of the Nova can hit one particular monster, but for some reason it still shows the Nova coming out, and it will even still show the Nova hitting the monsters. But anything that essentially already got hit a target doesn't lose its visual effect. So it still looks as if it's actually going to hit other monsters, but it doesn't hit them, it doesn't do anything to them, and it doesn't chill them because it's already hit something, but the game hasn't removed it from existence. Also, if your orb hits a hard surface of any kind, it's just immediately killed. And also, a lot of those projectiles that come off of it also don't hit anything. Because apparently once it hits a hard surface, it just ceases to exist. And then again, in the same exact vein, because the system isn't properly taking the projectiles away, it may still look like the projectiles are coming out even if you hit a hard surface, but anything that comes out after it hits the hard surface doesn't actually exist, despite actually having a visual representation. It's really weird.
Good to see you.
Just things that I learned while I was researching the topic for the video. Of course, I want to tell you guys everything. I don't want to tell you guys only half of everything. I don't know, the Ice Orc works really good with the Sunder Charm, not gonna lie. Obtaining a Sunder Charm, though, that's the trick, right?
Are they going to be hard to get?
We don't know yet. I mean, we don't know if they're going to be hard to get or what, but we do know that the cold one's probably going to be one of the most sought after ones. It's like it'd be like like early ladder. You're trying to get your hands on like a paladin or a sorc torch. Everybody wants a freaking paladin or a sorc torch.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna want these Sunder charms, and I think the cold one by far is gonna be one of the higher in demand ones.
That's good. I'll be able to get fire ones cheaper.
I think fire is gonna be number 2. I'm pretty sure it's gonna go in this order: magic cheapest, poison second cheapest, lightning third cheapest, and then I'm pretty sure it's gonna go. Let's see what is that. Gotta make sure I don't mix them up here. I got them sitting in my inventory. I want to just look at them. All right, so magic. Then it's gonna go poison. Then it's gonna go bone break, which is the physical. I think the physical is gonna be the third cheapest. Then the lightning, then the fire, and then the cold. I think lightning is obviously still going to be sought after, but it's not going to be anywhere near as valuable as the fire or the cold.
Fire, cold.
Because people are going to be going after those. Cold, I think, is got a pretty hefty lead on a lot of the other charms, but fire, I think, is still pretty popular, and it has been held down for a really long time. I think we're about to see a fire resurgence. Whereas lightning, everybody's been playing lightning characters for the longest time. Infinity has worked on lightning. Like it's not a class that's like been, suppressed for any period of time. So I don't really see that one being super duper popular, although it will be useful. Bone break is going to be like more of an iffy one. Like I think there's definitely going to be some builds that are going to use it, but there's also going to be some builds that are going to avoid it. And poison, I don't really think it's not going to be useful. I just think that there's far too few poison builds. Just in general, like if you counted up all the poison builds, it's just not enough comparatively to a lot of the other characters in the game. I mean, there's a lot of lightning characters, there's a lot of fire characters, there's a lot of cold characters. The poison characters don't really get that much love because there's just not really that many of them. I mean, and some of them don't even get played. Like nobody does poison javelin Amazons. I mean, it's not exactly a bad build, but you just don't see them very often. 2.5 is live Eternal, but the Sunder charms are not live because we're not in ladder yet.
Yeah. They're coming in 7 days? Yeah.
How do you reduce physical resistance past the charm? You need either amplify damage or decrepify. That'll help you reduce it past that. Those are the only two ways.
Speaking of, monsters all have a set amount of resistances, right?
I mean, it depends on the monster, but yeah. Like every monster kind of has their own specific resistances.
Because like, you know how we were talking about teeth not doing damage? If you were running like a magic, like one of those GCs for magic resistance, do you think you would still do more damage with teeth? Essentially?
No, because the thing about the Sunder charms is they don't help you versus anything that's not immune. And there's hardly
it's just to break immunities. It still won't lower their base res.
No, it's only going to reduce the monsters that are immune to 95% resistance. That's it. That's why a lot of people think these things are so OP, but quite honestly, like they don't solve the issue on their own, especially with the magic one, because there's no way to reduce magic below anything. Like there is absolutely nothing in the game that reduces magic resistance. So a monster being immune to magic, and then all of a sudden you've brought him down to 95%, he's still 95% immune to you. So
I get it. Those are unique charms. You can only have one on you.
now you can have multiple.
Can you?
I tested it in PTR too, and unless they change it, you can literally have all of them in your inventory if you want to.
But I mean, like, let's say you had 5 magic, minus 250.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't minus a set percentage. It sets the percentage to a set percentage. So it no matter what the monster has, even if he's got 7,885,000% magic resistance, it will set him to 95%.
Okay, so there's no point in having more than one.
Unless you're a character that needs more than one element. Like Corpse Explosion Necromancer is physical and fire, so having a physical and fire one on a Corpse Explosion Necromancer would be legit.
I just meant like 2 of the same element, or
exactly 2 of the same element would be stupid. You would just be reducing your resistances for no gain.
And losing a skiller. Okay.
Yeah, and losing a skiller. I mean, there's definitely a downside to these charms, as he just pointed out, losing a skiller. You lose a skiller. The skiller can also have another effect on it, like fast hit recovery, life, various other things that you might need, attack rating, who knows. Like, so you're losing a skiller spot with additional effects. You're losing resistances, a pretty hefty amount of resistances to whatever element you've chosen. So, you know, you're trading a decent amount of stuff for the ability to break this resistance. As I suggested to a lot of people, some people may just be keeping these in their cube, because like if they only work against immunes, then you would like say with the physical one, if you're a physical damage character, just keep it in your cube, so you don't have to suffer the penalties. Whenever you come across a physical immune, take it out, kill the physical immune, put it back. I mean, as some people have suggested, physical immunes aren't so ridiculously common that you run into them like every 5 seconds, but they're common enough that you would definitely want to keep that thing in your cube so that you could kill them when you came across them. I mean, the lightning sorceress is already powerful as I'll get out. I don't see the Sunder charm effectively increasing her speed all that much. A minor amount. She's already broken overpowered. She's just going to go to broken overpowered +1, and and there's not really going to be that much of a difference between her kill speeds, to be honest. A tiny increase, maybe. And that's only assuming that she has the Sunder charm and Infinity. With the Sunder charm, she's slower than Infinity. With Infinity, she's still slower than without the Sunder charm. And then with Infinity and the Lightning Sunder charm, then she actually gets a little bit faster than she would normally be. And that's, of course, assuming she has other negative enemy lightning resistance items like Griffin's Eye Diadem, Lightning Facets, maybe Crescent Moon, and various other items that'll bring that down even further. She's got to hit the negative 100% mark. That's basically what we're looking at. If she can't hit the negative 100% mark, she's not going to do more damage than she did previously. That's what the Cold Sorceress can do with ease, but the Cold Sorceress doesn't have Lightning Mastery, so...
For the damage.
Yeah. Because the Cold Sword can hit negative 100% with ease, but no Cold Mastery that actually brings up her damage puts her at a disadvantage versus the Fire and the Lightning, because they can do both with items. They can eventually get down to negative 100 with items, and then beef up their Mastery as high as they can get it. There definitely are some nice items that you can wear for negative enemy lightning resistance. I mean, one of the best ways to get a huge amount of negative enemy lightning resistance is something that a lot of people don't consider, which is wearing the Infinity yourself. Infinity has an insane amount of negative enemy lightning resistance on it, and then in combination with the conviction that's on it, it pretty much makes you like a god among lightning characters.
I wish that's something they would do like they did in PD2. Make it so you can make Infinity in a staff. Like an Archon staff.
The TZs, no, they won't really change your starting build and character, because, like I said, the Sunder Charms are level 75. You're not going to be able to get those till much later. Who knows when you're actually going to be able to obtain one. So you're going to have to plan to fail, basically. You're going to have to plan to not have a Sunder Charm. You've got to make it to level 75 without it. And who knows when you're actually going to get your hands on one, or even if you're going to get your hands on the one that you want. That's one of the other things that's really important here, is there's 6 Sunder Charms. So when them things drop and you identify one, there's a very good chance it's not going to be the one you want, and you're going to have to go barter.
Well, if it's a unique too, you get a Grand Charm, right? It could be a Geeds.
Yes, but see, they only drop in terror zones, so at least if you're in a terror zone, you'll know that it's
Okay.
at least possibly the correct item.
You're gonna get a Geeds. Oh, that'd be hilarious. First Grand Charm.
First unique Grand Charm, Geeds.
I mean, worst comes to worst, like, let's say you get a Sundered and you get a cold one. Well, you could basically trade it for anyone you want.
Yeah, with
Just gotta-
with ad, right? So you could be like, they put it up there, you put yours up there, you'd be like, no, ad.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
like, mine's worth more
need-
than yours.
I need a
Ad,
bird.
buddy. I'm gonna need that fire one that you got and a low rune.
And the physicals, so you can make a corpse explosion.
Yes, correct, Vidine. Cold Sorks won't really be more powerful; they'll just be more versatile. I think that's what a lot of people are missing is that these charms do not increase your overall damage to targets that are not immune. The only thing that these charms do is increase your damage to targets that are immune. And it doesn't increase your damage higher than what you can do versus non-immunes. In fact, it's actually technically going to be lower versus non-immunes because your full damage is going to be represented versus those monsters that are not immune to you. Whereas when you use this, they're set to basically the hardest possible resistance, which is 95%. That they decided we would use. I don't even think you can have like a monster that's like 96, 97, 98, 99, because there's no like. It's always like in increments of like 5% or 10%. It's never in like ones and twos. So 95% is probably the hardest that a monster can be to defeat with that kind of thing. And 95% is still relatively unkillable. So you've got to stack on equipment. You've got to stack on gear. The Cold Sorceress is the only one that's going to have it easy because she has the equipment. But at the same time, the Cold Sorceress still has to deal with all the issues up to that point. So you can't make like a pure Cold Sork. You're going to have a really hard time if you try a ladder reset with a pure Cold Sork. You're probably going to have to start out with maybe like a fireball frozen orb or something, or whatever other combination you want to use, maybe like a firewall lightning, or there's hundreds of different combinations, but you're not going to be able to go pure cold just like right off the bat, not until you actually get this thing and have it in your inventory. Well, that's the cool thing, is that the Sunder charms seem to take effect before things like curses. So your amplify damage, if you have it, will do more versus someone who's physical immune than without the Sunder charm. So we ran the numbers on this before. So if you had a monster that was 100% immune and you cast amplify damage on them, they would go down to like 80%. If you have the Bone Break charm, which brings them down to 95, and you cast amplify damage on them, they go down to -5. And -5 versus 80% is a pretty big difference. You're talking about a monster that's mostly immune to you, is taking a little bit of damage, versus a monster that is literally getting a 5% bonus damage to your attacks. So it's a pretty big difference. And then Decrepify could only ever bring a monster down to 90%. That's the lowest that it could possibly go. And now with the Sunder charm, you'd be looking at 55%, which is a hell of a lot better than 90%. The variables were in the patch notes, the most recent patch notes. Let's see here, D2R 2.5 patch notes. Let me pull these up real quick so you guys can see them. The variables are actually pretty good. I like the variables. I'm actually pretty excited about the variables. I was one of the people that suggested these variables too. I did it on the forums. I thought it was a really good idea. So you guys can blame me if you don't like the variables. So here you go right here. So the Black Cleft is going from -45% to -65%. So they lighten the load. It was 50%, so they lighten the load a little bit. So now it's down to 45%. But you can potentially find one that's worse too. So good luck with that. Bone Break got changed from 25% to 10 to 30. So you could potentially find one worse than 25%. But there's a very good chance that if you're lucky, you could find that nice 10% one, and that would definitely be worth a lot more, runage than a 30. That's for sure. Then all the other ones got changed from -70 to -90. So they roll between 70 to 90, which is 5% better than they were before, if you can find the perfect one, but definitely worse if you find a really trashy one. But let's be honest. If you're a fire sorc, a lightning sorc, actually if you're a fire character, a lightning character, a cold character, a poison character, and you find one, and even if it's a -90%, although you're gonna be like, crap, it's a terrible one, you're still gonna use it. You're still gonna use it. Don't even lie. You know you're gonna use it. You're gonna be like, oh no, fire means let me get out my flame rift. Well, a lot of people complained about Bone Break. I didn't really see a big deal with it because the physical damage received can be very easily countered by physical damage reduction equipment. There's a lot of really nice physical damage reduction equipment. You know, you got Shaft Stop, you got Shaco, you got Vampire Gaze, you got Crown of Ages, you got Storm Shield, you got, I mean, the list goes on and on. String of Ears, you know, Verdungo's Hardy Cord, you know, Craint Vomir. Like, there's tons of various items in the game that can be used to counter the negative enemy physical resistance, or negative physical resistance. But the magic, there's one item in the whole game that gives you magic resistance. It is impossible to counter that negative, and it is, that is ouchy. That is ouchy. I've died by more magic resistant or magic damage monsters than anything else in this game, I think. Bone spear snakes, bone spirits, bone spears, the dark stars that come from the Herodrum, I think the red orbs that come from the witches, succubuses, isn't that magic as well? There's enough magic damage monsters that literally when they do come to visit me, a lot of the times I end up getting my butt handed to me. And I definitely don't want them to have a bonus damage when they're shooting me in the face. It is very much appreciated that they not have a bonus damage when they're shooting me in the face. I would like that.
I'll be back 2 minutes. I'm gonna go get some coffee.
I'm gonna make a post about this real quick on the community board. For all my offline players, I know you guys love to have access to this kind of stuff. Save image as Sunder charms. Alright. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. 16,300 subscribers. You guys are great. I am growing faster than I ever honestly thought possible. Sometimes I look back at where my channel was a year ago and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's that's a lot more than I had a year ago. Well, I can't remember when I looked back, but I was looking back like a year ago and I had like 2,000 subscribers a year ago. What's up, Prophecy 508? Well, you know, it was the puzzle, right? Everybody loved the puzzle. We're still working on the puzzle, by the way. It's not finished. We're still working. Working on a grill, working on a burnt down, You guys want to see my latest little thing that I'm working on? I want you guys to keep in mind that this is not finished. Alright, before I show you this. It's not finished, so I'm not completely confident in it. So we have these differing numbers. Okay? And these differing numbers are weird. Let me see if I can bring up the link here for you guys to look at. That way I can actually show you guys something instead of just talking about something. Mr. Nee, what's the matter, buddy? Hmm? All right, shield your eyes for a minute, because I'm probably gonna blind the ever-living crap out of you guys. All right, so I'm gonna run you guys down this real quick, and then I'm gonna go over what I've got. All right, so we have been desperately trying to confirm every single number. We are still missing number 26. We do not have number 26. We don't even think it exists at this point, because like we still haven't found it, and we've been trying for a very long period of time. I did give a brightness warning, actually. I told you guys to shield your eyes. We also have some unconfirmed numbers left, so 212 and 541 are currently unconfirmed. We could use a screenshot of those if you guys are interested in helping. But basically, we confirmed every single number, and in the process of confirming every single number, we came up with some numbers that differed, but we had screenshots of both numbers, okay? Both numbers, not just one, but both. And there were 9 of them. So I've been trying to figure out something with the numbers, and I combined the errors from the numbers and tried to figure something out that would work. This is what I came up with, and as you can see here, it's a very interesting number of like random doojanks here. We've got wisdom, few, leave me. I have own mortal skill. Tree clicking on are laid, represented by. Now, I've been working on trying to like rearrange these into a sentence that actually makes sense. And so far, I keep coming back to this. Few are clicking on me. I own wisdom, represented by immortal skill tree. And I haven't quite translated it out yet. I'm still working on it. I've just been super busy between night shift and a bunch of other crap. So like I haven't had a chance to really like just sit down and make it happen. But it's interesting because it makes me think that there's something inside the game that we're supposed to find. Few are clicking on me. What is this that few people are clicking on? Represented by an immortal skill tree? I don't even know. If I can figure out the exact combination, which I'm still trying to do, I'll have a much better idea of what the hell this is. But for right now, it's still up in the air. Mr. Nee, what's the matter, buddy? You want to say something? Here. If you want talking to the mic, say something. Does Blizzard regularly use ciphers to hide details about upcoming things? No. I want to say the answer to that question is no. An unused skill. You know, few people use the unsummon button. A lot of people don't even know the unsummon button exists. Maybe you gotta walk around clicking unsummon on everything and see if anything unsummons. Deckard Kane, are you gonna unsummon? How about you, Akara? Unsummon Akara.
Hello.
Unsummon the cow. Unsummon the chicken. It's kind of hard to say. Like, I don't really think that there is a chance that this stuff could actually be random. There's too much mythology to it. There's too much going on. Another thing that we found out is that the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye. So the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye is a organization developed specifically to protect and guard a artifact, which apparently can see into the future. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick.
Beware that you do not suffer the fate of the corrupted rogues.
I wonder how many times she changes her gossip.
Beware that
Let me try going in and out of town and see if that changes her gossip.
welcome back, my friend.
Can't be. If you want to join our ladder group, is that what you said you wanted to
As
do?
long as you need.
If you want to join our ladder group, you have to be in our kinship. So the first thing I would suggest is you go take a look at our kinship charter. It's the kinship GGM charter is basically our rules. If you agree to the rules, well, you can join our ladder groups.
To be honest, I have done my best.
Okay, so it does change every single time we go in and out of town. I want to show you guys the thing that makes us think that that Akara may or may not have something to do with this.
Beware that you do not suffer the
No, beware that you do not suffer the fate. Your butthole itches. How about that? Give me the good one. Give me the juicy one, Akara.
welcomes you. I understand that
That's not the juicy one. Why you gotta do me like this, Akara, right on live stream where everybody can see?
good day.
Good day, Akara. Tell me the truth.
Charcy is young.
That is, I mean, that is the truth. Charcy is young and innocent, but that's not the truth that I needed.
Hello.
All right, Entropy. We'll see you later, man.
I often dream of the day we reclaim our own. The sightless eye sees through the mist of time a great glory ahead. But how far ahead, the eye cannot discern.
So this verse right here is what has made me think that this whole cipher thing and all of it is referring to the gem of the sightless eye. So inside of the lore for Diablo 2 and Diablo 1, basically there was a guy named Philios. Philios married and had kids with a lady, and the lady had two twins, and they were both daughters. The two twins went on to form the Amazons. The Amazons eventually were given the gem, which, if in the cipher we encountered the words "the gem all-seeing," and each one of these visions seems to be a vision of the future, at least except for the first one, which is the creation of all time. And essentially, the gem all-seeing, we're pretty sure, is referring to the sightless eye. And literally, she says that the sightless eye can see the future. I mean, she literally says it right here.
I often dream of the day we reclaim our own. The sightless eye sees through the mist of time a great glory ahead. But how far ahead, the eye cannot discern.
How far ahead the eye cannot discern. Now, it's not lost on me that perhaps the rogue, which has something to do with Diablo 4, the rogue that has something to do with Diablo 4 may very well be something to do with this. So you got to think, in Diablo 4, we have the rogue, which is coming. The rogue is part of the sightless eye, right? And we have this whole thing, which is literally told to us by the sisterhood of the sightless eye, at least as far as we can tell. And maybe this all has something to do with the rogue herself, which is going to be in Diablo 4. Maybe this has a lot more to do with the the Diablo 4 story plot than we think. Debrunsky 125, is that the Debrunsky, or is that somebody on a fake account? Sir, Mr. Nimoy, why are you going so crazy right now? You're just running in and out of my shirt over and over again. Just over and over again. I see you squonking. I see you squonking, but you can't come in. I mean, you don't really have to decode the stuff anyway, Dobrunsky. It's really kind of all already decoded. At this point, we're trying to figure out what the hell it means. Some people are theorizing that it means a Herodric Cube recipe. But the problem with the Herodric Cube recipe theory is that, as a lot of people who have hacked the game know, there is a file. It's called herodriccube.json or something like that. I can't remember exactly the name of it. And it has all the Herodric Cube recipes listed in it.
Hey.
So if that is the case, then as soon as they update the game, we're going to know exactly what the Herodric Cube recipe is, because it'll just be in the file. And then people will just harvest it from that point. What's up, Lemnist? Destination? Well, got everybody in here today.
Yeah, I've been just creeping. Just hanging out, seeing if people want items.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be giving away a whole bunch of stuff for non-ladder characters soon. Well, that's what I'm theorizing, Psychonauts, is that if it is a Herodric Cube recipe, when they update the game for ladder, it's probably going to be right in the file. But they haven't updated yet because they don't want us to know, right? So we're not actually going to be able to see that in the file until patch day, basically ladder launch day or whatever day they decide to do a little micro patch that enables the Sunder charms and probably adds whatever else is going on. Another theory is that it may be something that I'm trying to think here. Something that you can click on within the game. So I was talking about this earlier inside of the translation and the differing numbers. It says, as far as I can tell, few click on me. Few click on me, which is kind of a really weird thing to say. And I can't think of what in my life inside the game would even like qualify for that, except for the chat gem. But we had to click on the chat gem to even get that message, right? So few click on me doesn't really apply to the chat gem anymore. Not after we spammed it for literally like 50 hours straight until our eyeballs were bleeding and our fingernails were falling off. But we're still working on it. Like, if you guys come into my Discord, Dobrunsky, you're welcome to come in too and chat and talk about this stuff. We've basically, like, literally just been talking about this stuff, like, nonstop in the Diablo chat. Just trying to figure out what the hell's going on. We've started to notice things that we didn't notice before. So, this flag right here, where is it? I saw it earlier. Right here. This flag right here is a new. I didn't even realize this until just recently. One of my Discord community members sent me an image of it. Her name is, his name is Maddie, and he's got a girl's profile picture, but his name is Maddie. I don't know. I'm just gonna use the Maddie name. And he sent me a picture of this, which is one of the flags, and I'm pretty sure this is Anu. This is the god Anu. It still looks that way. It's just really terrible. The eyeball is still there. You can still clearly make out the eyeball. The eyeball is at the top. And I'm pretty sure this is the flag of the sightless eye. This is specifically referring to the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye, and I'm pretty sure that Anu is in the center. And if Anu is the sightless eye, then they have a piece of the god. I don't know. You know who's really good at hardcore, Dobrunsky, is God bless it, Trix. Trix is really good at hardcore. I don't know if you guys have taken a look at Trick's videos. I actually have her linked on my YouTube channel. She was recently actually. I was actually pretty surprised she was on the Blizzard launcher. She does a lot more on Twitch than she does on YouTube, but that's her YouTube channel.
Hey, I don't want to bother you too much with this. I'm trying to find your video for how to apply this package
What package are we talking about?
for solo single player.
Oh, the
He's
hero.
talking about the builder's hero editor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hero editor is in the file, so you can just install it from there. There's a setup file, and basically what you do is you open up the hero editor once you get it installed, and then you import one of the D2 LOD files, and then you do whatever you want to do to that file, and then you copy it into your resurrected folder. The installer for hero editor is old. It's going to take you back. It's an old game in general.
But where is the hero editor though? Like, where would I download that?
It's in the folder.
Yeah, you said it's in the folder. But
It's in the GGM's item pack. Oh yeah, Dobrunsky. I recently got a hold of the Sunder charms in my item pack. If you want to download it, so you can test for offline stuff. It's the old Sunder charms though. It's not the new ones. The ones that have been updated with the variable effects. Let me tell you exactly where it is, so that I'm not just being like, it's in there. Yeah, it's hero editor, hero_editor_v014 clean installer, and run the setup file. It's inside.
Okay. Set up exe, I guess.
Yeah, that's the hero editor program. It's old, it's buggy, but it works.
It's just making me copy file name. It's not letting me.
Are you on Windows or are you on Mac?
Window.
It should work then. It should just be an exe file.
What am I missing?
I mean, let me see if I can pull it up on stream here and I can show you. Mr. Nimoy, what are you doing? Oh, no. I know that's the pee-pee stance. That
What
is
is
the
that?
pee-pee.
If you don't want to do it on stream, if you have a second monitor, I could always just stream it in Discord.
Mr. Nimoy just tried to tinkle on me. He's rude. No, Mr. Nimoy. You tinkle somewhere else, sir.
I need to extract it.
You're a little tinkle butt. His fur gets everywhere. God bless it. Alright, here it is right here. So hero editor underscore is B104. And then inside there should just be setup.exe. It should look like a little computer. I'm going to go put Mr. Nimoy back real quick before he actually does pee on me.
Oh, that's
No.
the thing. Okay.
I'll be right back. I didn't warn you vampires about the white flash this time? I'm sorry. So what were you saying?
Hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. If I go here, I click on this.
I mean, are you streaming it? Because I can take a look and see what you're doing. And
Yeah. Here, let me turn it on. So, like, when I click on your link, I got this that opened up. Right?
Oh, well, you haven't downloaded it yet. You got to download the whole pack.
So, I downloaded it. This opened.
Mm-hmm. Then open that up.
Yeah.
And then the hero editor folder.
Hold on, dude.
It's the third one. There you go. And then set up.exe right there. You might want to extract the whole thing somewhere so that it works better. Because you're going to need to access all those files anyway. Just like extract the whole RAR file to like a directory. It's tiny as all get out. It's like 14 megs. So like, it doesn't even really matter anyway.
I was interrupted before your new software was fully installed. Wait, what? So I would just extract all the folder. To
Yeah, it's just a bunch of files. It's nothing. There's nothing too fancy involved in any of it.
So I did this here. I installed it to my. Where did I install it?
All right, Brunsky. I'll see you later, man.
Local C. Files.
If you decide to be a real man. Real men have children that get you killed while you're playing hardcore. That's how it works. You think hardcore difficulty is hard, wait until you have a kid hanging off your arm. One of them licks the back of your ankle for no particular reason. Cat jumps up on the keyboard. You try surviving that.
I'm literally getting my body back from my kid drawing my attention away.
See? I'm not even joking.
It's taken me about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
and
I
you,
kind of feel
and
bad.
you can't get mad at them because if you do, it's very bad.
Exactly.
If you lose your temper on your kid because he got you killed, your wife is going to make your life a living hell.
Where did I? I'm losing my mind. Where did I download this?
Chris said, "Oh, I get mad. You got me killed." That's when you make your kid get your body back. You're like, screw it. You're getting my body back. I need a good character to test one of these other charms on. Do I have an ice on? That would be really awesome if I had an ice on. Oh, I've got the dumbest idea of the century. We are doing it too. The dumbest idea. Oh, you guys are going to love this. Oh, you guys are going to absolutely enjoy this. Stick around, boys and girls. Stick around, boys and squirrels. Welcome to the Prakazon. We got lots of charms. Put on every Sunder charm, and we can do our stuff with the Sunders. Pew, 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 pew. That's right. All the Sunders. Actually, you know what? Let's not put the magic one on. We don't need that one. But everything else. You guys wait till you see this. Y'alls wait till you see this. Alright, let's get in here and let's do this. All the Sunder charms and my Prakazon. Unlimited power. No immunities anymore. The power of the Prakazon is now complete, like the masters of the universe. Oh, everything is dying. Don't you worry. Everything is dying. Dude, these Sunder charms make this character a lot more powerful. But look at my negative 100% fire, negative 100% lightning, negative 75% cold. Ooh, I am in the thick of it. Back off me grotesques. We ain't got time for none of your shenanigans. Shenanigans.
Now this is what they should do with
What?
YouTube. Let us have proc characters like this.
Oh, this is a real character. Like, I actually do have a real build for this character, but this character is like hacked to all get out. But there actually is a real version of this character that I made a video on, and it actually worked pretty well.
Yeah, but probably doesn't do as much damage.
This character has been set up specifically for fireworks. That's her goal. She's a fireworks character. I use her for like 4th of July, New Year's, so forth and so on. I think it's pretty cool. Besides, it's just very pretty. It's very pretty. You guys were complaining about your eyeballs earlier with the white screen, but you didn't expect... you didn't expect the Procazon Inquisition. That's with all 5 Sunder charms. Not the magic one, of course, because we don't need that one. That one's for people who need magic. We don't need magic.
Well, I mean, if you made the, if you used the rune word that shot both spears.
You know, maybe. But nothing here's immune to magic anyway, so.
Yeah, it's true.
Devil Slime. That's right, die, Devil Slime. I swear the strafe ability was specifically made for this. Like, 10 arrows, 10 proc chances. You can fire it ridiculously fast. It pierces and can effectively pierce up to 5 times, which is a total of 50 total procs chances, depending on what your proc chances are. So, like, if you have multiple effects going off at any given time, you're talking about 50 times whatever number of effects that are currently being launched, which can be absolutely insane as far as, like, the number of effects that can pop up on the screen at any given time. And of course, with the Sunder charms, nothing is immune to me anymore. So the fire, the lightning, the poison, all of it is actually dishing out damage to the targets no matter what, which is pretty cool. Last time I kind of played around with this character, there was definitely a big issue with, like, because I have mainly like fire stuff. I do have some ice and some lightning, but it's a lot of fire. So it's nice that those fire immunes are nice and broken. Your potato died watching my video? That's not how videos work, the dying. I think you'll be alright. I think you'll be okay. Well, this character wasn't designed for that. Yannick, this character was just designed to make pretty colors. If I showed you this girl's equipment, you guys are gonna laugh because it's all manufactured in Hero Editor. She has a frickin' Carrion Wind, which has 15% chance to cast level 1 Twister, 25% chance to cast level 1 Taunt, 16% chance to cast level 1 Fist of Heaven, 22% chance to cast level 1 Glacial Spike, 25% chance to cast level 63 Static Field. On the other ring is level 20, level 1 Volcano, 20% chance, 100% chance to cast level 1 Blessed Hammer, 10% chance to cast level 1 Hydra. On the belt is 100% chance to cast level 1 Meteor, 100% chance to cast level 1 Firebolt. She also has 100% chance to cast level 1 Chain Lightning, 100% chance to cast level 1 Ice Bolt, 100% chance to cast level 1 Holy Bolt. 5% chance to cast 15 for Fade. She also has the Ice Bow on, so she's got the nice little Frost Novas, the 25% chance to cast level 22 Frost Nova, 20% chance to cast level 1 Blizzard. Oh yeah, that's right. The boots. We got 50% chance to cast level 1 to Evil Force, 40% chance to cast level 1 to Firestorm, 2 more Evil Forces, which are like monster abilities that I kind of worked in there. Then we also have the gloves, which are 30% chance to cast level 1 Shockweb, 40% chance to cast level 1 Poison Nova, 70% chance to cast level 1 Bone Spear, 20% chance to cast level 63 Teeth, you know, for the pretty colors. 40% chance to cast level 1 Frozen Orb, 50% chance to cast level 1 Frost Nova, 50% chance to cast level 1 Frost Nova, 30% chance to cast level 63 Charged Bolt. So basically just like pretty colors. I made sure it was level 1 on just about anything that needed to be level 1. And anything that needed to be a high level so that it looked more pretty, like Charged Bolt and Teeth, you know, so I have more Teeth and more Charged Bolts. Those are, of course, higher level, so they get more Teeth and more Charged Bolts, so that there's more fancy, pretty colors on the screen, just in general. And that's the goal of this character, is just fireworks. She's my fireworks character. I literally developed her for no other reason other than to look pretty and to have fireworks. And with the Sunder charms, because I wanted it to be more random, Nick, I didn't want it to be like blinding ridiculousness. You know, like fireworks is an art form. Like you don't just fire every single firework up in the air and hit the button and they all shoot at the same time. You know, it's like a whole like song and a dance. You know, it's like pop 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 pop. So I tried to do random percentages until I came up with something that kind of worked properly, so I wasn't just getting like blinding ridiculousness. So I was getting like more of like a fireworks kind of effect that was, you know, that was popping off randomly. Choreographed, yes, choreographed. I choreographed it. This character is very well choreographed. I wanted to make sure that each individual one was going off at the right times, so that I could get more of a, you know, an interesting look and appearance to it. These Thunder Charms work good on this character, though, I'm not going to lie. You know, and it's interesting because it does open up the possibility of building chance to cast characters. I feel like there's a lot of chance to cast characters that could see new life with these charms. Because, you know, beforehand, like, you might not have been able to build enough negative res, put on an infinity, all that sort of stuff to actually make this kind of thing work. But, like, if you were building, like, a chance to cast character specifically, like maybe a fire chance to cast character, or maybe a lightning chance to cast character, or whatever it is that you're building, you could definitely tack on one of these charms, which would make the entire build a lot stronger. There's a couple builds like that in this game. There's a really powerful maul for Fireclaw Druids that has a fissure spamming, and you could potentially utilize this with the Fireclaw Druid, get some really nice effect out of it. Obviously, this one will work really good with the Hurricane Druid or the Wind Wolf. Same thing with the Bone Break, could go really good with the Wind Wolf. There's a lot of characters that can get good use out of poison charms, just simply from like stacking poison charms. The Sundered poison charm can go very good with poison charms, like if you were a multi-shot Zon stacking like as many poison charms as you could possibly get or something. Maybe combined with Venom, I don't know. Could be interesting to see how that works out with the new poison charms. Vile Burn, the Fire Enchanted, Lightning Enchanted, Teleportation. Surprised I'm not dead already. With my negative resistances on like everything. But then again, this is the Amazon, and she does have the dodges, and the dodges make her like ridiculously tanky. She doesn't have any teleport scrolls. How dare she? Get out of my way. Who do you think you are? You don't even got a name badge. Sit down. Is it hard to not drop the GCs? We do not know yet, Mac McCartney. The answer to that question is we do not know. There's just we don't have any information on their current drop percentages. We only know where they drop, but we don't know what eye level they drop. So, like for instance, you know, they might only drop at a certain eye level up, which I would assume. And so we don't even know exactly what zones specifically we would need to go to and to farm these. Or what level we need to go to. The only thing we do know is they drop only from terror zones. But we don't specifically know if we need to be in like a level 85 terror zone or a level 70 terror zone or a level 60 terror zone, or maybe it has to be a TC 87 terror zone. We're not sure about any of that yet, and I don't think they're sure about it yet either. That's why they didn't tell us. Pink. Seeds for terror zones. What was that about? Yeah, it is going to be a mystery until they let us know. I mean, I will certainly be keeping my eyes on how common they are. I have a pretty big kinship, so we're going to be super excited, whoever finds the first one. But we're definitely going to go through the process of trying to figure out about how rare they are. I mean, we've got a pretty good idea between all of us. I mean, I think in here with me, I've got a Lemnist who has been playing for a pretty long period of time. So, I mean, like, we got Destination, we got Squiddy, we got Jack. Between all of us, we should be able to come up with what we think is like a roundabout rarity for the charms, and kind of like report to you guys like how rare we think they are, and whether or not you could find the ones that you're looking for. I think one of the issues is that no matter how common they make them, because there are 6 of them, there's a very good chance that even if you do find one, it might not be the one you want. So do keep that in mind. Don't get too disappointed when you finally do find a unique Grand Charm and it ends up being like the black magic one or a Geeds, because it could potentially be a Geeds too, and you guys are going to be real sad.
Going to be mad when they get the Geeds.
They're going to be so mad.
Real bad
Geeds, what?
It's a terrible Geeds too. It's not even a good one. Geeds is made out of
Sell
dirt.
it just out of spite.
Yep. Or just leave it on the ground. Just drop it right back. I don't want it.
I'm actually kind of curious if we'll be able to tell if an unidentified one is a Geeds by the ability to not pick up multiples. So, like, the Sunder charms, apparently you can have multiple in your inventory. So, if you have a Geeds in your inventory and you go to pick up a charm that is a Geeds, you should automatically know that it's a Geeds, even if it's unidentified, because you can't even have an unidentified Geeds in your inventory with an identified one, right? So, like, if you go to pick up a Sunder and it picks up when you have a Geeds in your inventory, you'll automatically know that it's a Sunder. If we can have multiple in our inventory with the Sunders, we still don't necessarily know if that's the case or not. I mean, we do know right now that I have them in my inventory and I can have multiple in my inventory, but they're not actually technically in the game yet, and there are changes to the Sunder charms. So,
oh, you don't think they're gonna troll us? And maybe it's a thing where you can't, if you have a Geeds in your inventory, you can't pick up an unidentified unique charm, even if it is
could be.
That's
I mean,
mean.
this is the first time we've
That would
ever had another
Super troll.
unique charm, right? So the only unique small charm is the Annihilus. The only unique large charm is the Hellfire Torch. The only unique grand charm is the Geeds. So we've never actually had another one to test this. Like, this is the first time. So I guess we are gonna find out. Runes, the magical loot. The more you eat them, the more you toot. What? Think I don't know that rhyme. I know the rhyme.
It is an honor to serve you.
Are you still testing? Have you found anything interesting so far?
I mean, they work really well. What character is this? Is he a wind wolf? Yeah, he's a wind wolf. I think he's set up as a wind wolf too, isn't he? Yes-ish. Yes-ish. He's using a... Yeah, he's got an Ethzod wind hammer. He's got carrion winds. Okay, alright. He's set up as a wind wolf, so let's give him the bone break and the cold rupture, which of course is going to make him extremely weak, but we'll see if we can make it work anyway. He needs a couple more points into strength. And I probably need to give him some dexterity too. Let's just go ahead and beef him up real quick. 1, 2, 3. Trying to make sure I get his setup right here. That should be correct. It's a pretty good build for the Wind Wolf. Wind Wolf is an interesting beast. He's actually missing one of his main items, but it should be alright. Does he have a rain armor in his inventory? He does. He does not. If you guys have never seen my Wind Wolf before, this is a build that revolves around utilizing the secondary effects, basically the twister on striking from the wind hammer, the twister on striking from the carrion winds, combined with the hurricane essentially that I'm using on my character, and a couple other things, and it works out pretty well. It actually works out really well. Let's go test this with Eldritch, who's immune to cold. We'll see how well this works out. Might need to put some points in my HP now that I realize that I didn't have any points in HP. That's way too many points for this character, but whatever. At least it'll keep me from dying. Alright.
Thought it was. Is a lem good or is that lum better?
Lem is the better one of the two, definitely, by far.
I just got one.
There's a lot of good things you can do with a lem. Lums are are common by comparison. They tend to have so many lums and never enough lems.
Yeah, I always forget the order of those two.
Oh no, he's pretty powerful. That ability to break the physical immunity is actually pretty sweet. And the cold resistance.
Yeah, those charms are going to be great fun to use. I'm running around right now and everything's immune to lightning, and of course my character is lightning.
Like right now I'm fighting the Enslaves, which are all immune to cold. And I have the hurricane up, which is, you know, constantly pulsing off damage, which is absolutely excellent.
Nice.
This character is by far not set up correctly, but works out alright. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Feral Rage. Honestly, he does freaking amazing. You know what's one thing we should probably play around with is a Corpse Explosion on a Necromancer. That'd be pretty fun. Frenzy Barbs would be pretty fun, yeah. Oh yeah, the Twister's stun really good, especially since they added the new synergy. I don't know if you guys have seen the new synergy that they added for Twisters. But the new synergy allows you to beef up the duration of Twister by a pretty high percentage. And even if you're not using it for damage, Arctic Blast is actually pretty nice to invest points in because it beefs up the duration of Twister stuns. And of course, the Twister is stunning like all the time, especially if you have things like Carrion Wind, or you're using Rain Armor, or you have the Windhammer Ogre Maul. There's a couple different ways you can have Twister procs incorporated into your build, your werewolf build. And let me go ahead and show you this real quick, just for since I'm already on this character. So the stun length duration on Twister, move myself out of the way real quick so you guys can actually see it, is 0.4 seconds. So 0.4 seconds on that stun. If you beef up Arctic Blast to level 20, it goes to 2 seconds. So you go from 0.4 seconds to 2 seconds on all your Twister stuns, which is freaking epic. And of course, Twister has 3 Twisters that come out. So it can stun up to 3 targets, and it also goes through them, and it can hit multiple targets. So you can potentially stun a wide group of monsters with literally just 1 Twister. And 2 seconds is a pretty long period of time, and more than enough time for you to get another Twister in. Things like Carrion Wind that have 8% chance to cast level 13 Twister are pretty effective. You can also utilize things like Windhammer Ogre Maul. I was also talking about the Rain Armor, which is the Rain rune word that druids have. It's pretty cheap and easy to make, and it has some really nice effects on it, like the Cyclone Armor proc as well as the Twister proc. Rain is like one of the best armors for druids, I swear. Like, that thing is just nuts. I want to trust a Necromancer. Poison Bomb. I mean, I guess we could do Poison Bomb. You're the only Necromancer signed up for Season 2? Well, you're definitely going to get rained on with equipment, then. I wouldn't necessarily say that's a bad thing, my friend. I would, however, pretty much assume that there is most likely going to be a rather large amount of people signing up right toward the end. So I wouldn't necessarily take the ladder sign-up sheet at face value, because the closer we get to ladder, the more people that will sign up. And like in the last couple days, it'll get kind of insane to the point where we'll just have way too many people signing up all at once, and we won't be able to keep track of it. That's what happened last time anyway. And that's pretty much what I assume is going to happen this time as well. Kind of got overwhelmed, I'm not going to lie. It was like freaking 8 groups. Or 6 groups or 7 groups. I can't even remember anymore. It's been too long. Let's make sure this guy's got Corpse Explosion. Oh, level 31 Corpse Explosion is enough. It's not maxed out, but that's plenty. Alright, let's throw Corpse Explosion on F. Actually, let's throw it on Z. Why not?
I can't do that here.
And then let's throw Amp on X.
I can't do that here.
Well, it might help if I actually went and got the charms. Might help if I actually went and got the charms. Let's grab the Bone Break Charm and the Flame Rift. That'll increase the Corpse Explosion damage by a pretty hefty amount. And let's go somewhere with a lot of fire immunes and physical immunes. I'm thinking River of Flame? Isn't there a lot of fire immunes in River of Flame? Poison, cold. Nothing really too great there for testing this. We kind of need physical and fire, because if we're not fighting a physical or fire immune, it's not really going to help us out very much. The only place that I know that's like absolutely chock full of fire immunes on a regular basis is like Dirkwood, Black Marsh. There's just tons of fire and physical immunes all over the place here. And the carvers. Am I still using the poison one? I would assume that they're going to drop a ladder. They have never said that they were not going to do that. So I'm going to assume the answer to that question is yes. Oh yeah. Man, that freaking fire charm makes these fire immunes like butter in my hands. Butter in my hands. I don't know why I'm holding butter though. That definitely does seem like a little bit of an odd thing to hold butter. What's up, Andrew? Arcane Sanctuary has ghosts. That's a good idea. Let's go play around with the fizz immunes. How dare you lightning things be immune to poison? How dare you?
Oh, so you're thinking they're going to release them for non-ladder as well? That's interesting. Is that just a guess, or
Eventually, yeah.
something?
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. Everything ladder, ladder eventually
Like
filters into
eventually,
non-ladder.
But okay. So the question was asking about like when season 3 happens, will non-ladder?
Yeah, he
then get the
specifically
Sunder
said when
eyes?
ladder finishes, will the Sunder Charm start dropping in non-ladder. So not dropping, but they will follow the characters that have them to non-ladder. Like that, at least that's how it's always worked. So at the end of this ladder, you guys in non-ladder will be able to get your hands on like mist bows, plague swords, you know, all sorts of things that are ladder only, as long as those characters are bringing them with them. Like for instance, I have a bunch of ladder characters right now. I got 3 of them, and I have several items on those characters that are ladder only that you guys could get your hands on.
Got any Eth Templar mites?
That's a good distinction there.
Eth Templar Might, maybe. Maybe.
I'll take that for my non-ladder PvPer.
I'm just hoping they'll be able to craft the rune words after.
I wouldn't count on that. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people have been saying that that's the case, and they keep saying that somewhere along the lines the developer said that was going to be the case. But here's my thinking on this, and it's really simple. If that is the case, then okay. But are you really going to bet that that's going to be the case? Like, are you going to just like completely miss an opportunity where you could potentially get your hands on one, and then have to wait another 4 months to get your hands on one later? You can get your hands on one right now. Like, if you log in and you just like try and like barter for one, a lot of the ladder characters don't care about any of the equipment they have now, because a lot of ladder characters just delete their characters in a game. You could log in, you could make a game, and you could be like, please give me a plague sword. And chances are somebody would probably just hand you one.
Yeah,
and
I
then
gave 2 Enigmas in the last week, so I mean.
And then when the ladder ends, that character rolls over to non-ladder, you take that item and you give it to whatever character you want to give it to.
Yeah, makes sense.
But if you miss the opportunity, you're not going to get another opportunity for 4 months.
Very true.
You know, if you're betting that they're just gonna let you craft the items, I mean, that's a pretty interesting bet. And if they do, then you know, so be it. But
the other reason why I don't think they would ever do that is also because what would be the point of playing ladder? I mean, besides rushing for level 99, you know, like there wouldn't really be a purpose to it if you could
Well,
just craft
that's
everything on non-ladder
that's what I had
runes.
originally said when they made all the ladder stuff non-ladder the first time.
Yeah.
But you know, secretly behind the scenes, they had already prepared a new set of like incentives to get
Yeah.
people, you know, in, and it makes sense.
I mean, if they do that, then cool. You know, let them craft ladder rune words on non-ladder, but give us another incentive. You know. But then that's just a lot of adding to the game.
I mean, the new rune words that they added are really
No.
sweet.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god, bro, I'm terrible with this PC shit. I don't.
What do you
still
mean
not
PCs?
understanding this. Just anything that has to do with a computer. I'm like lame at, bro. I have no idea.
Okay, well
So I have the build editor open. I'm not even sure if I should have put gear in there, but whatever.
I mean, it's really simple. You open up a character, then you basically
yeah.
just load crap into the character. Like you don't even have to build a character. Just load
Right,
the
but
items. Just load the
yeah.
items you want onto the character, and then import that into D2R so that you can then just do what you normally do. Just log into the character, swap things around.
But how do you load this into? And the other thing is, I'm right clicking to import item files,
Mhm.
and it's not showing me the sundered GCs.
Yeah, because you have to go and browse specifically to the folder. So the folder that says Sunder GC is actually
Yeah.
a character file. You have to load that character file. That actually doesn't need to be hero edited in because the file that he sent me was not an LOD file. It was a D2R file. So it's already been converted, and it has all 6 Sunder charms on it. So just
Okay.
take the file that's inside of the Sunder folder, copy it, and load it into your Diablo 2 Resurrected save folder, which is, if you don't know where that is, it is, I got it right here. It's C users your username / saved games Diablo 2 Resurrected. And you just paste it in there. You do have to reboot the game for the game to reload the saves and find that one that's been added.
Okay, so that I got, but how? I'm not understanding this hero editor though. Open, save, reload.
It's really simple. There's 2 different things that you have to think about when it comes to the hero editor. There's character files. So opening is opening a character file. And then when you right click on the inventory and you go import item, that's importing item files. So there's two different things in the item pack. There are item files and there are character files. If you're trying to deck out a character or like set him up in a specific way, then you're going to be looking inside the item files, which is things like unique items, rune words, and so forth. That's where all the item files are. They're represented by a D2I.
Yeah, I figured all of that out. I have the character all with its gear in the hero editor. I'm just trying to figure out how to upload this into, like, where am I pulling this file from to put it into my D2R?
The destination folder, you need to put it in.
So
Yeah.
wherever
So
you
need
opened,
to click save and go to the destination folder.
yeah, wherever you opened it from. So whatever you got that file from. If you got it from one of my like files, then you just go to where you opened it from and it'll be there, and you copy it out and put it inside of your D2R save folder. So you're basically just taking the file that you just edited and you're just copy and pasting it into the D2R file folder. And then once you do that, the file is in there. Like if on my stream right now, like if I look, the Sunder charms are right there. They're charming. So charming the level 2 paladin. And that's how I got those. And as long as you keep a backup of the file, you can do whatever you want with these. You can delete them. You can take all the items off, and then you can recopy the file back in, and then you have all the items back again. That's why I put all my character files in there. So if you go into D2R character files, there's literally a folder that says GGM's offline characters, which is literally like every single character that I have, including like the set armors, like the crazy ones, like the Procazon. Like some of my Theorycraft builds are in here too, like characters that basically just kind of like threw together to try and see if it would work. And then the D2
okay.
LODs.
So he's streaming, and okay, so you got the character edited. Like,
Yeah.
what file did you open? when you clicked open, what file did
for
you
this?
open? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't click a file. I just opened the hero editor, which I have here.
Okay. So step 1,
We'll go to
you need
the.
to open an existing D2S file.
So in the package he sent me. So
So you look for a D2 LOD file. That's what you're looking for. So D2 LOD character files. And then you can go to any of those. Unskilled. You can use one of mine. It doesn't really matter.
what's the difference between these two?
You want the D2S, not the back file. Okay, so you don't do it that
You want
way.
to open it in.
Yeah, open it
Hero
inside
editor.
the hero editor. So you don't do it here.
So in Hero Editor, click Open, and then browse to that file. There you go. And then you can change everything, just
So
like he was saying.
those look like yours. So that's your Diablo 2 save directory. So
Yeah.
you want to find the program, yeah, the item pack. There you go. And then not the D2Rs, because the D2Rs don't work in the hero editor. So grab the LODs. There you go. And just grab one of the LODs, whichever one you want. And that will preload the sorceress in. If you look on the stats page, it'll tell you what level she is, what her stats are, all that other stuff. You can also give her all the waypoints if you want to, by checking all those. Make sure all those are checked. You can give her a certain number of skill points, so she's got 110. You can change like everything you want in here, and then once you finish, you just hit save, and that saves her so that she's finalized essentially.
So basically, when I want to add it to my D2R, I take it from here.
So yes, once you've finished editing it, you can copy that and put it into your D2R, and then D2R will automatically convert it.
Okay, so this I don't need to touch anything. I just got to put all the.
You can put all her equipment on, yeah. Give her a torch, give her an Annie, give her little skill things, whatever you want to do to her to make her like the specific character you want to test out. You just right click on an empty space and go import file.
Yeah.
Import from file, there you go. And then inside the folder,
Oh my God, where is it? Downloads here.
inside the folder, you'll see I have uniques, rune words. I've got
Yeah.
socketed white, so you can make your own rune words. There's also old patch items in there if you want to play around with that. Sets. Miscellaneous has a lot of other stuff like charms, various other objects. The runes are in there.
I found all the crafted like spurs and
Mhm.
the amulets and stuff, Armageddon.
Tons and tons and tons of stuff in there.
Yeah, I saw those. I put them on just because it's easier to hit the 200 faster cast rate with them.
And you can also edit items too if you want to, and you can add in things that don't necessarily exist.
Yeah.
I do that all the time for like testing purposes, like if I want to make a character immortal, so that way I can test something without having to worry about dying, because I just want to see what kind of damage output the person can do. I'm not interested in like making a functioning character. So like I'll give them an armor that has like level 40 salvation and like level 40 defiance, just so that they can't die while I'm testing whatever I'm testing. Works out much better when you don't have to worry about your death constantly.
Oh, and keep in mind, once you've opened that file, when you click save, it's going to override that file. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, okay, so if I ever change it and I hit save, it has the new file, and I have to
But I mean,
put
you
it
can
back in.
you can always re-download the pack if you want to
Yeah,
get
you
to
can always
refresh
re-
everything. I mean, I'm trying to keep it up to date as much as I can. I mean, I'm currently up to version 9 at the moment, but I'll just keep going. I'm gonna try and see if I can somehow make those Sunder charms in Lord of Destruction, but I really don't know if it's possible. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I want to try and reverse engineer it from a Diablo 2 Resurrected save file. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it could be interesting to try.
Am I crazy? But like, I can't find Eschuta's. Isn't it a wand?
Shooters, it's going to be in the class items. You're already right there. No, you were already there. Go back. Class items.
Oh, I see.
Sorceress.
Okay. Cool.
I actually just set up shortcuts for me, like makes it much easier. Like I'll just put
Yeah,
shortcuts
through
and
all the
like the
you'll set up
directories.
shortcuts for these basically.
Well, like you notice like every time you open it, it puts you into the save folder. So I would put like a shortcut into the save folder. That way you could just immediately go to where you want to go.
I see. Yeah. What was I doing? Yeah, rune words. Actually,
You
I'll
can
probably.
also just search in there. So
Yeah, you can
top
also
right
search
corner.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So all the rune words are in the rune word folder. There's tons of those. There's a lot of stuff. Like when I had to make this pack, like it's just kind of crazy just how much like you have to put into this stupid thing to actually make it work.
Okay, that's not gonna work. I see.
As you use it more, you'll get more used to it. It's a lot easier to make characters honestly with this once you understand what the hell's going on. Especially when you realize that you could just kind of like put together anything that you want. Like my Procazon, for instance. I used it to test out the poison damage too. That was how I confirmed all the poison damage was crazy. Chinchillas for days. They said that the new versions will. I don't think the current versions do, Chris. But they did say in 2.5 that they will be working for the minions and pets and traps, apparently, too. So we won't know, like, for sure until 2.5 hits with the additional ladder adjustment patch. I'm sure there's going to be, like, a little day one ladder patch that we've all got to download before we can actually play. But they said it was. It's in the patch notes. If you pull up the 2.5 patch notes, it's written in there. I actually pasted it on every single video that I did for the Sunder charms so that you guys can see it. Hopefully, I pinned it to the top, and I even hearted my own comment so that you guys would be like, "Why did he heart his own comment?" And then you'll actually read it because, like, I wanted you guys to see it because it was a pretty serious upgrade to the Sunder charms. Tomorrow I have my video for Frost Nova. Frost Nova's coming out tomorrow. Nice. What is tomorrow? Friday? Oh no, today was Thursday. It's still Wednesday. I didn't even realize it was still Wednesday.
Yeah.
I lose track of my days sometimes.
Oh, by the way, Daniel sent you a DM.
Oh yeah. You're talking about like after ladder hits or before ladder hits or what?
Either way, like even now, I think it's kind of. I mean, ladder's still going, but for mid and low rolls, I mean, I'm just kind of looking to get rid of them, less to manage.
Just have a Annie party, huh?
Yeah.
So you did a lot of the work on the spreadsheet, right?
Oh, me? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Wolfie set it all up. You know, shared the spreadsheet, and then I put together the automatic like lookup formulas.
Which was freaking epic. How long did it take you to program in the whole manual?
Oh, it was just a bunch of copy pasting.
Oh yeah,
So-
like 95 pages of copy pasting.
Yeah, it was like 95 pages of
Only
copying.
only
I mean,
95
it was like a
pages.
second or two per paste. So actually, a lot longer was, you know, as we were figuring out, okay, words that were hyphenated are actually two words, and stuff like that. Like that required finding all those instances. I think the hyphenated words, there was like 340 of those that all had to just be, wow. At the time, there's probably a good way to automate that, but I just did it manually.
So I actually found the book downstairs, like the actual book.
Oh, nice.
Like the exact same one too. It's like the Necromancer page is page 57. It's the same exact thing. And that page that was missing, it is actually missing in the book. It's just a blank page. Like there's a whole lot of stuff that having the book in my hands actually kind of revealed.
Nice. Now you can really do it manually.
I was having fun going through the manual and just like playing around with it. Did you hear about the guy that actually was working on this a year ago though?
Oh yeah. I heard you talking about
crazy.
what was his name? Did you say?
His name is Mason Layson, or I can't remember
Mason
exactly.
Layson.
I bumped him on the forums. I found his post on the freaking like official Diablo 2 Resurrected forums, and it's literally like a year old. And I freaking necro bumped it. I'm gonna post it in stream chat for you guys so you guys can go see it. But I necro bumped it. His name is Layson Mercer. Mercer Layson is his Twitter handle. I don't even know if he's seen it yet, but like we literally bumped it and everybody like replied to it and threw a bunch of hearts on there. Cause
Nice.
you know, this is really cool. Like he was kind of one of the first person that worked for it.
Yeah, that's rough when you like try to get momentum behind something and it just doesn't happen.
And he really tried. I mean, I found like 4 or 5 posts from him on Reddit, like on various different like platforms. I found he made a Twitter post and he replied to himself several times. He contacted David Breverick and tried to get his word on the subject. Like he made the post on the official forums. He collected like 14 codes. I mean, this dude really put in the effort. It just sucks that nobody wanted to back him up, you know. Everywhere you go on his posts, like people are like working as intended.
Yeah, that's too bad.
We could have had this a whole year ago. That would have been really cool though. Instead, we completely missed it, and the developers gave us a secret message that pointed us toward it. They were like, hey, look over here, you guys suck. And we're like, wait a minute, is that a secret code? I like secret codes. We also played around with the the one that points to the blank page, and we basically like went we checked every single like combination that it could possibly be besides page 4, and like none of the words fit, like none of them. Out of like 94 pages or 95 pages or however many pages there are, some of them were blank, but like every single word just didn't fit. So the only one that fit was the traded, the one that we had there to begin with, and that was from page 3. So we're theorizing that the page 4 might just be a typo for page 3. Otherwise, you know, if it was something, like if it was any of the other pages, it would have fit, right? Something would have fit. You having fun making yourself a god character?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where the Annies were.
Miscellaneous charms.
Yeah, I figured. I was looking through the characters. I was looking through like, yeah.
I tried to arrange things. I tried to arrange everything pretty good in there. Like if it's a unique item, it's in the uniques folder. If it's not unique, like it's in the
Or-
miscellaneous folder. If
This
it's
was actually. Hold on, where was it? Uniques
yeah,
and
uniques
then
and then charms.
and charms. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was under. I was looking in Misc and I was like, hold on a second. Every time I click on charms, it's just
Skillers and
yeah, and small charms with like obviously nice stats and stuff. But yeah. So I think that's pretty much. Whoops. Yeah, I'm just gonna need the sundered, but that's pretty much it.
yeah, we'll save it, transfer over to your character, and good to go.
So as soon as I click save, it's under where we originally.
Then you find that original file that you edited, copy and paste it into the D2R save folder.
D2 LOD.
You want the
So it's saved here, right?
see you opened up the D2 LOD sorceress, I'm pretty sure. So just copy the D2 LOD sorceress and put it into the Diablo 2 Resurrected save folder.
Right, but like from here, D2 LOD character files, right?
Yeah,
That's where I would go.
I'm pretty sure you opened up the sorceress in there. I think it was unskilled.
D2S, right?
Yeah, the D2S. You might want to copy the back file too with the same name.
There's two of them.
Well, there's only one sorceress, so copy all three. So the D2S and the two back files, just copy those. And then go to your save folder, which is C users. I mean, unless you have it shortcutted somewhere. But it's C users and then your name.
What's going on, guys?
C user. Yeah, C
And then users.
users.
And then your name. So it's probably PC. And then saved games. And then Diablo 2 Resurrected. And then paste it right in there.
Anywhere.
Doesn't matter, yeah. And then when you open up Diablo 2 Resurrected, you should have that character converted.
No, it's PTR. That's it.
If you got everything set up right, it should work.
If it worked, that was a lot simpler than I thought.
It's actually really simple.
I've never messed around with computers though. That's the thing. Like I buy computers, I play games on them, and that's it.
Oh, well,
Like, I
Hero,
have
Hero
so much
Editor is great
trouble.
because you can go through the process of testing out a bunch of different builds, figure out what you want to do for like a ladder setup, and then you can, try and work toward that build.
Yeah, I was just on a max roll D2 planner working on a build, and it's kind of crazy actually.
I like to get them in my hands and see how they work.
It doesn't work without the charm, really.
Well, you got the charm. It's in the pack now.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a dual hand of justice dragon whirlwind barbarian.
Well, if you download the newest pack version, there is a character file in there called Charming in the Sunder folder, and he has all the Sunder charms.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm gonna have to
Doing my
restart the
best
game.
to give as much usefulness to the Hero Editor item pack as I possibly can. I might have to make a video calling attention to the fact that the Sunder charms are in there.
I have to restart the game again. I gotta put the Sunder charms in there. So you said that is just through the pack, right?
That's just a character file in the Sunder folder. It just says Charming. You just got to copy that character into your D2R save folder. Because it doesn't, it's not a D2 LOD file. You can't edit it or anything. So you're just copying the character directly into your save pack. So it just says Sunder charms for D2R only.
Yeah.
And that's
and
the
it's just
character
normal.
file right there. Just copy him directly into your save directory.
Same thing. Users,
That's right. PC,
PC,
save games.
save games, D2 resurrected, and paste.
Like, look at
Yep.
this.
And you need to reboot the game as well. 'cause it
Yeah,
won't-
I just
Oh,
closed
there's
it.
the
I know.
Discord.
because D2R for some reason only converts the file upon launch. So if you copy one in there that's not like a D2R file, it won't convert it until you reload the game.
I see.
Am I sharing?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really
okay.
miss this helmet. I want them to make Valk the way it used to be.
What you get the or the 08 out Valk?
Yeah. I understand why they did it. It's like a bit too easy to hit the 200 faster cast rate or like whatever breakpoint for any class because of the 30% plus the faster hit recovery and so it's on a separate character. I see.
Yeah, you gotta load the charming character and pull them off and put them into the shared stash.
Is there a way to get multiple? Like if you were to just
recopy the charming folder back character
Gonna put
back
another
into
one.
it and overwrite the original, and you'll have a second set.
I see.
It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it works out.
Yeah, so I kind of decked out the Sork, but like with old gear, like Storm Eye. Storm
Oh, should give him some
Circlet.
Aki rings. Is the Aki ring in there? I can't even remember if it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the Storm Circle. I missed. This was sick. That was a nice craft.
Aki ring has got to be a little crazy though, because doesn't it also have the teleport charges chance on it? And the
Yeah,
teleport
that's-
chance is stacked between the two, so it's like 100%
Yeah.
chance to teleport.
That's what I found crazy. It's one hit though, so like if you're getting ranged, you're just randomly teleporting. Sometimes you teleport into a pack of mobs. You're like, okay. Oh yeah, I still got Grimspurs.
You got all the hacked items. Yeah,
I don't know
where's
if
your?
These were hacked. These
where's-
were an original from 08, but you can't roll these stats.
What's the other one that was really OP? It was the Mage Fist gauntlets that combined together with the
Wizard Spike? It was Wizard Spike.
Wizard
gauntlets.
Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wizard Spike
50%. All that mana cast rate and all rest.
on gloves.
Yeah. They had rings like that too on US West.
Oh,
They
man.
had the rings, they had the armor, they had the gloves. It was all a full Wizard Spike set. Like it was insane. It was like, I think people used to run 200 faster cast rate lightning sorks with energy shield, and they were rocking like 10, 12k like mana. It was ridiculous.
This is a poison javazon. Use the new poison charm on her. I'll see how well it works. I mean, she does have a pretty hefty amount of negative enemy poison resistance, so she's got -20 on the shield. She's got Arcane's Valor with a one jewel in it, and then she's also running a 2-socket +2 Amazon circlet with 2 fire poison facets in it. So she's got about as many poison facets as I can give her. And we'll see how that works with the poison charm. Hopefully there's some maggots down here. That's what I was hoping for. No maggots. I see the 2 different ones. Let's go to Canyon. I know maggots are always poison resistant or immune. Come on. The one time I want maggots, there's no maggots. Are you kidding me?
Oh, where else do you go? River of Flame, right?
Tried that one already. No maggots in River.
Oh my god.
No maggots in Canyon either so far.
That's ridiculous. What else? Aren't there skeletons that are immune to poison?
Well, I can always reload and see if I can get a different set of monsters, but that's pretty insane that I would end up with no maggots in either one of those zones.
Yeah, especially like the river. That one usually always has.
I know. Let's do a refresh real quick. We'll change the
that's so weird.
difficulty and hopefully it'll change everything.
Yeah, so with this setup that I like, obviously the mercenary has to have infinity on it for it to like do crazy damage. But on Infector, he's doing like 41,000 damage per second.
So
As
you
a fire-
have
as a fire
dual you
character.
have dual Hand of Justices
And a Dragon Archon
and a
plate.
Dragon Archon plate. And then what you got?
With
Flickering
a-
Flame helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? What level does that get you for Holy Fire?
46?
But unsynergized.
Unsynergized.
And then you
But
get the
if you-
Hydras from Dragon too, right?
I don't think with Whirlwind you have a chance to cast those, right?
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's pretty impressive damage on the maggots.
Man, I forgot how much mana you consume with 200 faster cast rate.
Are Sunder charms live now? No, they're not live, Grand. But I do have some mock versions. I'm not exactly sure how the hell they were even obtained or what the hell's going on with them, but what I have them, and they're in the item pack if you'd like to download it. Honestly, I think it's cool that the single-player characters have access to them. The link actually just came up in chat, so if you want to take a look at the my Google Drive link, that's my Hero Editor item pack, and you can download the Sunder Charms in there. For testing purposes, of course. Single player is offline, so it's not like you have access to them in online. But you can definitely get a better idea of how they work, play around with them with your respective character, get an idea of how much is enough negative enemy resistance, for instance. You know, how much might be considered too much, how well it works in Players 8, so forth and so on, you know. Testing.
I'm gonna look for the same thing as you, fire.
I can't carry anymore.
Oh, Trav, I guess.
Now, she's doing pretty good with the Sunder Charm. I'm not gonna lie. She's not having any trouble with the poison immunes. She does pretty good. I mean, she kind of has like broken equipment, but at the same time, I did have some kind of like budget options for her. It's funny how Arcane's Valor works very good as a budget option for a lot of elemental builds. It mainly has to do with the fact that like a lot of elemental builds need a facet to get that negative enemy resistance, and you can't get it from most rune words. So like you need an armor that you can socket. You need something that you can actually put the facets in, that also has plus to skills, that also has, you know, other effects that'll be useful to you. And Arcane's Valor is one of the few pieces that actually has +2 to skills and can have a socket, so that you can actually work in the facets. Fire Trapsin does not have good damage. Still does not have good damage. Very good for normal difficulty. I think most people agree that it is extremely good at normal difficulty. Has nice AoE.
It's
Sufficient killing power. And yeah, it starts to wane off toward Nightmare, and then Act 4 Nightmare is where fire builds basically die, because Act 4 Nightmare is just absolutely ridiculously full of fire immunes. By then, you're probably going to want to swap to something else. I mean, I'm never going to tell anybody not to build a particular character, though. Like, if you want to build a Fire Trapsin, by all means. You know, like, you're going to need negative enemy fire resistance. You're going to need that Fire Trap Sunder Charm. You're going to need things like a Phoenix Shield, Fire Facets. You're probably going to have to deck yourself out in fire, plus fire skill, and plus and negative enemy fire resistance, if they did actually change that, so that it works with the charms. I'm hoping that they did, so that those builds can actually get a little bit of fun. But unfortunately, as it is right now, those things don't work with the fire traps. So I guess we're gonna find out when the season ladder starts. They said they fixed the charms. So don't none of you guys get super duper excited because they didn't say they fixed negative enemy fire resistance. They said they fixed the Sunder charms. So one is not the other. Like, we don't know for sure whether or not negative enemy fire resistance, like from something like Flickering Flame, is going to affect the fire traps. Or Griffin's Diadem might affect the lightning traps. We don't know that yet. We do know that they've given us our word, basically, that the Sunder charms will affect traps and minions, but there's no guarantee that negative enemy resistance of any type is going to also affect our minions. Which does complicate things and makes it a little bit more difficult to make things work properly. I mean, this character kicks butt with that Sunder charm. Let's see what else I've got sitting in the wings down here. I think I have a... thought I had a Holy Freeze Paladin. Could be interesting to test that out, but I think that's on non-ladder. I could have sworn I'd set up a Holy Freeze Paladin to test him on offline. I really doubt it's him. GGM Cactus. That's my damage, attacker takes damage of character. Built specifically to have as much attacker takes damage of as possible. It's a very strange character. It didn't quite work out as well as I had hoped. But perhaps with the new Sunder charm and maybe some modifications, he might be able to work better. I've come to realize that Thorns is more effective than a lot of people realize. The problem with Thorns is that the monsters can still regenerate while under the effect of Thorns. So if they hit you and they take a large amount of damage with Thorns, they will still regenerate while they're hitting you. And unless you can apply something like Open Wounds, Prevent Monster Heal, or maybe Poison Damage to kind of like sunder their regeneration, it doesn't really work. Because the monsters just regenerate all the HP that they're dishing out to themselves anyway. This guy was very well crafted, let me tell you that much. I took a really long time researching this stupid build, only to basically find out that it wasn't really what I wanted. That freaking shield is beautiful, though. This shield is a very special shield. It's called the Spike Thorn. And it has 136 attacker takes damage of on it. And when it's all said and done, this character has kind of an insane level of attacker takes damage of. Let me see if I can bring it all up here. Attacker takes damage of 616 every single time they hit me. In combination with the 1,410% returned by Thorns. And the Spirit of the Barbs, which is... I can't even remember what the Spirit of the Barbs gives me right off the top of my head. I think I have to go out of town, though, for it to have an effect. 702, so I'm at attacker takes damage of 702. And even with attacker takes damage of 702 and a 1400% return, the monsters just don't really take very much damage from the Thorns. They just sit there and regenerate all the damage I dish out to them anyway. I mean, it's alright. Nothing like super special, nothing super fantastic.
Hello again, friends.
Hello. Welcome back to the Friendly Ginger Gaming Mentors channel.
I've been watching since I've been at work, so and listening.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Smarty, smart. You see we got the Sunder charms now?
I did. I think it's weird for my barbarian to try with
Are you going to download them and check them out?
probably, or I might just surprise myself and wait.
Mm.
There's a couple of things I was looking up earlier.
Sanic the Hooch, Sanic the Hooch. Oh yeah, Sanic the Hooch, my boys. Be not afeared. Sanic the Hooch is heerd.
Legend.
Be not afeared. Sanic the Hooch coming at you fast. Sanic the Hooch coming at you fast. I like playing this character. He's hilarious. He's proof that this game has some of the weirdest mechanics going on behind the scenes that a lot of people can't even see. I had originally theorized that there was no such thing as a faster run walk cap, despite the fact that many websites had said that there was a faster run walk cap. I did not believe it. The truth of the matter is there is not a faster run walk cap. There is not a maximum speed that you can obtain. Instead, what they did was the time-old honored tradition where most games will just simply make the next the next breakpoint like unobtainable. That's the way that they do things. They make the next breakpoint unobtainable. And by making the next breakpoint unobtainable, they essentially make a cap, but it's not really a cap. Like, it's like, hey, we made it so that you probably can't do this, kind of a thing. But I decided I wanted to see specifically just how far I could push it. And there's several versions of this character, by the way. I have several videos on this character. The very first video, is a 100% legitimate Sanic the Hooch, and he still runs really fast. This version is the, let's see how far we can take it, activating the Chaos Gemeralds Sanic the Hooch, because we need to, go ulti mode. He literally has just about every single form of faster run walk that he can possibly use, including charms, abilities, burst of speed, vigor, frenzy, of course, every single weapon that has faster run walk, every single item that has faster run walk. Just we even beefed up all the items to higher faster run walk than they actually obtained, just so that we could see how far we could push it past the veil. And he really is honestly faster probably than even 200% teleport at this point, by far. I think if they raced, he would win unless he hit an obstacle, which it's kind of hard to actually steer him because he's too fast.
Superman versus the Flash at that point.
Basically. Sanic the Hooch, boys. Don't ever forget that name. It's important. Or if you want to know the fastest, Sanic the Hooch is he.
I think that was one of the first videos I've watched of yours.
Really? My Sanic the Hooch video?
Oh.
You loved it? Loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it. Look at this. Pop in. Charcy load.
I'm pretty sure it was that, and then it's probably one of the rune words because I was looking stuff up right before the D2R dropped last year.
My silly videos. Oh wow,
There-
that looks really cool. The frickin' Crate Vomir looks really cool in his hand. Look at that.
Oh, what? Ooh, you know, that reminds me of Abaddon, a sword in World of Warcraft.
I already tested out Medusa. Kind of want to play around with a lot of these weird builds that I made.
So, I was talking with somebody earlier, or this was a comment I made on. It might have been one of your, I think your the bone break video. I think it was yours. It was, but anyways, I was saying, well, I got this really crazy build for Whirlwind barb that I want to try, and some dude was like, oh, that's not gonna work. It doesn't matter. Whirlwind's not physical, anyways. I'm like, what?
Whirlwind's not physical? When did this happen?
That's what I said.
That's what I'm saying.
When did this
Whirlwind's
happen?
physical. It's not considered melee in GM melee, but it's still
Right.
physical.
Yeah, it's like it's physical damage, dude.
I mean,
Like,
bro, if Fanat
physical.
increases its damage, it's definitely physical. Like,
When you're rocking, whole inventories of 320/20s or whatever you
Yeah.
can to get your
Max
damage, I'm pretty
damage
sure it's physical.
yeah,
a
exactly.
little bit, yeah. It just blew my mind. He said that. I was like, "Are you mental?"
I mean,
I
it's
feel
a-
like he probably meant to say melee, maybe.
I think that's what he meant, but it said physical. I was
I
like,
don't know if he
Huh?
meant
Yeah.
that.
because then that was like, I had to bring that to you guys because I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure he's wrong. I know he's wrong. Might have been taking crazy pills. I don't know.
That's pretty impressive. This Holy Freeze Paladin is absolutely demolishing Eldritch, who is, of course, unbreakable, cold immune, with the
what
Sunder
gear are you wearing
charm.
on him?
This is my Holy Moly character, which is Holy Freeze / Godsealer.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have he has the Bone Break and the Cold Rupture charm on, because he's Holy Freeze / melee.
Can I see your stats? I want to see like the damage reduction penalty. I suppose I could do this on my own, but
Damage reduced by 21%, because I'm actually rocking a pretty high amount of damage reduction. Of course, I just got amped, so I just went to 79% increased.
okay, so it works like I thought it would. Okay, yeah. So like yeah, you can
Counter it.
yeah, you can let it yeah.
You just stack on a little bit more than you would otherwise normally have. It's not that big of a deal.
Because what the highest is 30%. That's a shaft stop.
I mean, I'm running a Crown of Ages with Burr in it though, so let's not be too hasty.
Let's not get crazy.
I also have a
that's super
Dragon
cheap.
Shield on though, with an Umrune in it. I don't even know why I have that on. Why is that the
Walrus.
shield that's on my character?
And not a herald.
Well, that's just like that shield in particular doesn't fit with this particular character. I don't know why that shield in particular is on him. At all. It's- at all. He's got an exile sitting in his
Is this your
stash.
Zealous? Oh yeah, just
This is just an offline character. There's nothing special
Yeah.
with this guy. He's in the pack, by the way, if you want to play with him. I'm pretty sure just about everything that's not like super recent is in there, because I probably haven't copied over some of the more recent stuff. Principal. Of course, he's got like a perfect 20 all fives in his inventory, which is just absolutely amazing.
Absurd.
25. Bro, that's like, what is it, 50, 200 all res just from small terms?
I can't remember who I was having this conversation with, but it was somebody, and we were talking about something, and they're like, you could just get a whole inventory full of 320s, and I'm like,
Good luck.
they just started laughing because like the dude was insane. Like the kind of like stuff that this guy talked about was like the kind of thing that only somebody who's buying their equipment has. Like
Right,
even
yeah.
if you're a savvy trader, and even if you get like really lucky, like a full inventory of 320s is not something that you come by. Like even as a
people
savvy trader.
Yeah, people had trouble getting that like 15 years down the line with D2 vanilla. Like,
Especially on ladder. Like I
Yeah.
think ladder really complicates things because of the short time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas on non-ladder, you probably could have that. Like on non-ladder, if you were really like diligent, you would eventually obtain that, even if it took you like a couple years to obtain. But
Mhm.
like not on ladder.
This is probably like I use it too, but this is like people that played vanilla D2 that are using like JSP, right? And they have like thousands and thousands of forum gold. Just like I could buy a whole inventory. It's like okay.
Golf clap. All right, you're special.
These are the same people though that will literally tell you that there's no advantage to. There's absolutely no advantage to them buying Enigma on day 3 of the ladder for like $300. It gives them
zero advantage.
no advantage whatsoever to having that Enigma on day 3 of the ladder. No advantage. I mean, if you really think about it, there's no advantage to me having an Enigma on day 3
Oh,
of the
dude,
ladder.
it's massive. I had mine on day 2 because I dropped a burr and then I ended up buying a job. I was like, whatever.
I don't know. These Sunder charms are going to be expensive as crap. I'll tell you that much.
Color of the grandfather changed and went from yellow to silver. Huh. Or brass to
Yeah, I
silver.
think the cold charm is going to be the most expensive out of the gate, and then
Oh,
fire.
easy.
I think fire is going to be the most expensive one at the end.
Oh yeah, throw barb is going to be great with the new ones, especially if you tag it along with the really nice Decrepify one. I can't even remember the name off the top of my head because my brain is
Is
Swiss
it-
cheese.
Is that the lacerator one?
Yeah, the
or is that
lacerator. If you
the
combine it with a
Warstrike?
lacerator, with the Sunder charm, that'll work great. You'll have no problem burning through physical immunes.
Would the Scarab be better for amp damage? Reducing it further? Because Decrepify is only 50%, right? And Scarab's 100%?
Honestly, you could wear both.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. I think with how fast it attacks, because I was like testing it out a little bit, and like the way the character plays, like you use Frenzy to up your attack speed.
Yeah, because double throw, frenzy, and all
Medieval.
those have the same synergies, so why not?
Yeah, so, and like I wasn't obviously high level. I was just like, I was rocking some of the PvP gear I've accumulated with max damage and stuff, so I got the damage up there pretty well. But with the attack speed that you get, I think that Scarab amp damage proc is going to be better than the Lacerator Decrepify proc. I could be mistaken.
It's been my experience that it just doesn't trigger often enough, but like I'm not gonna poo-poo on anyone for using Atmoscarab. It's just whenever I use it, it feels like it never procs enough. Whereas the Decrepify, the Lacerator, procs all the damn time.
It does. It does.
I mean, one thing you could do is, most our barbs have 2 sets of weapons anyway. So you could have like the Lacerator and something else on one hand, and then you could have the Atmoscarab and like 2 other weapons, on your other set. And, if Atmos doesn't proc, quickly enough for you, you could always swap over.
By the way, declone on ladder looks like it's about to pop.
About to
It's 4
pop.
out of 6 right now.
Yo.
I want to kill him with my, that's right, I gotta reboot the game. Might not make it in time.
I think you should. I'm on my barb right now, so that'll be a piece of cake. If you want a real challenge, Dark Woods terrorized, so
Well, that's a new bot. Haven't seen that one before. Very strange formatting. but obviously a bot. You know, it's funny, like, I can look at a post, and within like 2 seconds, I can tell you whether it's a bot or not. I'm surprised that, like, the programs and stuff like that on the internet, they're way more sophisticated. Can't tell this.
Just because of like the way it's worded and all that fun stuff.
I mean, like, the use of massive numbers of emotes. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on inside of, like, bot posts that are just, like, red flags right off the bat.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's like I was talking about with the Sunder Charms and the Terror Zones. The bots are probably not going to run Terror Zones because they're kind of hard to program. And if they don't run Terror Zones, it's going to red flag them right away. Like, it's the easiest thing in the world. Like, hey, this guy doesn't run Terror Zones, red flag him as a potential bot. Put him on a short list. And then check that short list, you know, more vigorously. Vigorously. I like short lists. I also kind of like the fact that the bots are probably going to have trouble farming these new zones. There may be specific ones that they farm, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're going to, like...
Well, Chaos is probably a given. They probably already farm Chaos anyway, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
Oh no, I don't have dark wood. I gotta go backwards.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've all skipped a bunch of waypoints at this.
I am overburdened.
I tell you what though, when this latter season 2 comes out, ain't nobody skipping a damn waypoint.
Oh, yep.
Ain't nobody skipping away. I'm gonna yell at people when they skip waypoints. Because we need to go back and do these terror zones when they pop up.
I think the only ones is going to be sorceress who skips them because they can just go back and get them whenever.
We're gonna rely on them.
Oh, la-di-da, fancy sorceresses. La-di-da. What's up, Omni Dragon?
For Diablo. Just in case I need your guys to get it out.
Still can't believe I found a burr rune in frickin' one of the terror zones already. I can't really say that the high level of the zones really has anything to do with them dropping burr runes. It shouldn't, anyway. Any zone over level 81 could already potentially drop burr runes. And Chaos was where I found it. It was terrorized Chaos, but...
Yeah, who's to say that actually mattered?
I know.
Well, if anything, it reduces the chance because so much, well, not so much more, but certainly more things can drop.
Well, in Chaos, it's already 85, so everything can drop there.
Oh.
81 is the bare minimum for a Zod, so cow level can already drop a Zod rune.
And I got my burr from Pendle, so or something in there. I just know it dropped in Pendle's area in the temple.
How's the assassin? Well, I mean, we can't really test the traps because the Sunder charms that we have most likely don't work on the traps. So I pretty much assume they don't anyway because they haven't been updated yet. I wonder if the Sunder charms on the offline characters will update with the season 2 hatch that enables them. Will they just automatically change? You know, like most unique items do, right? When they update the unique items, they all change.
It's an room for plus resistances, right?
Yeah, for shields, helmets, and armors, but not for weapons.
Okay. Well, I got like Ariette's face, and I'm like, I should put an Umrune in it. Maybe. I don't know.
What are you building? Because there's a couple different choices for helmets.
Well, it's my Whirlwind barb, so.
Demon Horn's Edge might be better because it has IAS on it. You could run the Demon's Horde Edge with a IAS jewel, get even more IAS. Depends on if you're hitting your breakpoint or not. I don't know what weapon you got on. Actually, you said
Nice.
Hodges, right?
Yeah.
Not sure if attacking faster would be better. Or maybe even just a fire facet to increase your fire damage.
For
'Cause I might
Whirlwind's max
basically increase
breakpoint,
attack-
you need like
attack speed.
70 or 80% attack speed or something.
I'm not sure. I haven't really done a full research on the new Whirlwind yet to figure out all the breakpoints.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
haven't really.
When I run a BVC or BVE, I guess, and you run like Beast, or not Beast, you run a BOTBZ in main hand with Beast offhand
Mhm.
for the fan art, you end up with like 80 something percent attack speed, and it like I've tried putting more attack speed, it doesn't really increase.
I mean, it's only what 3 hits per Whirlwind per weapon now, I believe.
Yeah.
Can max lower resistance and max conviction break everything in the game? The answer to the question is no. So the problem with conviction and lower resistance has always been that they are penalized for attacking essentially an immune monster. They suffer from a 20% penalty. I got the formula right here. Hold on. They suffer from a 20% effectiveness penalty versus immunes. So if you have 150% conviction and you have a 70% lower resistance, they both get reduced to 20% effectiveness to 30 and 14, which means the maximum that they're capable of doing is 44% to an immune target. That's one of the reasons why these Sunder charms are so ridiculous, is because they apply before lower resistance and conviction, and they essentially allow lower resistance and conviction to no longer have to suffer from the 1/5 penalty, which is very interesting, to say the least.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Unbending Will has the prevent monster heal. That's why I wear it. No heals for you.
Oh, the freaking monsters regenerate like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's locked.
I was utilizing, I was doing a solo self-found Necromancer, and I had to, like, resort to firing an edge bow at them so that I could get that one tap and apply the prevent monster heal. Because if I didn't, the monsters would just regenerate all the HP back that I was taking away from them.
Yeah, I think when I first initially fought the D-clone, I didn't have Unbending Will at the time. It took me like 20 minutes just to kill it solo. But after I got Unbending Will, I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah, he was probably regenerating most of the HP you were doing.
Yeah, I think Aggro and Harry had to come in and help me.
A little bit of open wounds also helps out a ton.
Yeah. So I was wearing. Yeah, I got my Gores or my Goblet Toes. I got Goblet Toes and Gore Riders. Alternate between them.
Well, there's plenty of monsters that have even higher than 180 resist. It just depends on the modifiers. Another graphic. Here you go. So this is another graphic. Oh, no, it's too big. Resize. So this is the graphic for resistances applied to a monster, especially those who are elites. So Stone Skin is 50% physical, Fire Enchanted, Cold Lightning is 75% lightning. Magic Resistant is 40%. And then spectral hit is 20% to fire, cold, and lightning. So basically, let's say you have a monster that's like normally like 140% cold immune, and they end up with like cold enchanted. Now they're 140% plus 75. And then if they also have magic resistant, now they're 140% plus 75 plus 40%. So it gets kind of crazy, especially when you start applying those things. Looks like Diablo showed up. Let's go kick his butt real quick. Babablo, we ain't got time for your jank, Babablo.
Do it. Go right to Stony Field. Full power on this time too. Go.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, Babablo. Babablo, you're dying really fast, my friend. Maybe I should just let my Merc kill you. How about that?
Uh-oh.
You can do it, Flux. I believe in you.
Talking all that junk and I forgot the Goblin Toes.
I believe you. That's one of the reasons why I wear Gore Riders over Goblin Toes. Although I do like the additional crushing blow that they provide. Gore Riders has the open wound, so you don't have to worry about having that on something else.
Problem is a mana leech. Oh yeah. Get some Diablo.
Oh wow, that's not a bad Annie. It's a poor experience. It's only 5% on the experience, but it rolled 1920.
1920, yeah, that's nice.
Nice. Got a 12, 14, 8. Oof.
That's rough.
Was that Elemist I heard?
Flux's equipment is
The legend.
the legend.
Diablo.
He's wearing a J-mod armor, Yannick.
Yo, Elemist, pop down into one of these other chats. I want to show you something.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean you can't carry? Put it in my new hooker. Oh, wrong sash.
It's a green M&M. You guys can't see it, but you can see through me.
All right, Kane, give me something good.
The greenest of M&Ms.
Oh, oh no. Oh no. 10, 10, 8.
Wow, that's pretty bad there, sir.
Anybody want a 10, 10, 8? Can I sell it to a vendor? Will they take it, please? Somebody?
I think you need to drop that one in a free game.
I'm pretty sure people will leave it there.
Somebody will want it.
I mean, it helps out a little bit.
It's got 8% EXP at least.
If it had been 10, 10, 10, I would have loved it. It'd have been unique, but no, not like this. Not like this.
No, you need a 10-10-5. You get the perfect anti-perfect.
I mean, that's basically what my Arcane's Valor is. Anti-perfect. It is, what is it? 152 ED and DR 12. Literally like 2 away from bad. And 1 skills.
Well, Endurance of Hate is the current area.
Yeah, that's a no. I'm good.
What? Dolls? That's what I heard.
Mm-mm.
Dolls.
No.
Let's go play with dollies. Oh, let's go play with dollies.
Are you in the game?
Evil bone dollies in the
It's not like you
world.
take the damage. It helps to be there. A horde.
Oh god, amp damage. Not a good combination.
I need a key.
I need a key. Oh god, hello, sir.
I need a key.
Definitely dolls down here. 100% dolls. What's up, champion maulers? Die. Good time for your shenanigans. You know, Endurance of Hate is sometimes like the largest level, like ever.
It feels like it because you get turned around so much.
Well, no, there's sometimes when it spawns, the map goes on for like forever. Like, there's some pictures online of people that get like the freaking god tier Endurance of Hate, where it's just like it literally goes off the screen. They scroll over. It goes off the screen again. They scroll over. It's like probably like 300% larger than like your average zone.
I can believe that. I mean, sometimes you get lucky. All you do one right turn and boom. It's like yes, Durance 3, yes.
Lucky. That's what I hear.
Luck. This game is all about luck.
Just the luck of us. Said I had 3 messages from somebody, and then I went to go check and see what those 3 messages were. And there's nothing. I need to delete his messages.
Oh, alright.
If you're gonna send me a message, at least have the chutzpah. The chutzpah.
It's locked.
Oh god. Oh god, fanaticism.
Oh. Run. Run for your life. Get help.
I killed him.
I see.
I got my own tactics. I've researched them in detail. I usually don't die to them anymore. Not since I've researched them.
Usually don't die.
Oh, what's up, Tom Bombadil? I saw your well, I read the book where you played with the One Ring of Power and gave it nonchalantly back to Bilbo and Frodo, and I really enjoyed that scene. I thought it was cool. Are you actually Manway? That's ow. Curious.
Wondering what class to play in Diablo 2. Completely new.
On Paladin, the cure for dolls is actually to walk. You can block the majority of their explosions, especially as a 75% Paladin, and you just kind of walk away from them slowly and let them die. Usually let your merc handle them, but you don't want to group up on them and you don't want to kill them quickly. You just walk away.
Yeah, that's why you exploded as a Zeal Paladin to me.
The main thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you move in between targets, you're running. So if you don't toggle walk, you lose all your block chance during that brief period of time that you're running in between targets. So if you end up killing something during that time period where you're running, there's a very good chance you're not going to block the explosions. Walking gives you that ability to make sure that you're blocking the explosions. Well, at least a 75% chance. But a 75% chance is a hell of a lot better than
0.
than 25, which is what you're capped at when you're running. Well, it's not 0, it's 25. 25%.
That's better than 0.
Way better.
But if there's 90 dolls around you, you're instantly dead.
Well, no, not necessarily. You just got to make sure you kill them slowly. Sing it with me, guys. Killing them slowly with my sword. Spending my whole life chewing through. It's also a very interesting thing is that even if you have a zeal, you can just one zeal at a time. You don't do multiple zeals, just one zeal, heal up. One zeal, heal up. One zeal, heal up. Even if you're surrounded by dolls, it can still be effective. Smite is also good too because smite is single target. So if you have smite like on a sub button, don't zeal. Use smite instead. It also stuns them too, gives you a chance to run away.
Torture? What's torture? I'm reading your chat.
I don't know. Playing with dolls, I guess.
Oh, these dolls is torture.
I mean, who doesn't like to play with little bone dolls that explode in your face? I got one of those really freaking big Durance of Hate level 2s. This thing's insane.
So was it the whole, like, all 3 Durances, or just
For what?
for the Terror Zone?
Guess it's all 3. I would assume it's also Mephisto.
Well, if it's all 3, then yeah, it's Mephisto too.
Y'all can back off of me.
If you ever get to Durance, I hate 3.
Oh, if this is a terror zone, I'm having fun just farming in here. This is all high premium grade stuff.
Oh, XP too. Yeah.
Premium grade, my friend.
I won't step in there just because of the dolls.
Afeared. You're afeared of the dolls.
Oh yeah, I've died to too many times.
Sounds like somebody needs to watch my Deadliest Monsters video on the dolls.
I've watched it.
Oh. Well, somebody needs to
Yeah,
put
I know.
application of said mechanics.
No, I refuse.
He refuses, everybody.
I need a key.
Stop. They're gonna chastise me in the chat eventually.
I mean, so? Who cares? They make fun of me all the time. I can't do math. They're like, oh, Ginger.
You're sitting there doing the math. I did it in like 2 seconds. I'm like, really?
Look, okay, it's not my strong suit, right?
It's not mine either.
I need a key.
It's not my strong suit.
I sealed 3 times 3 is 9.
My strong suit is reading comprehension, okay? That's my strong suit.
I need a key.
I know where my strong suit lies.
Why does insight work in Stygian polearm? Or Stygian pike? Because a pike's not a polearm.
Pike is a spear, not a polearm, that's why. Doesn't work in spears. It works in bows now, though. They changed it so it works in bows. Oh, a charged essence of hatred. What you guys doing back here? Having a whole party? What's up, Mr. Bloodlords? Going on down to South Park and meet some friends of mine. Friendly faces everywhere. What's up, buddy?
I need a key.
I need a key.
Always have a key.
So be an assassin, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes.
If I just stand still, will the evil force eventually kill me? Like,
Well, what does the evil horse do again?
it's in Mephisto's throne room. It's just like a ghost that just
Oh, that ghost
Like-
sham.
it like hits you. It just like pops up out of nowhere and like bonks you on the head. I think
Right.
I think occasionally some people have actually died to him, and it actually does specifically say like you've been killed by an evil force or something like that. I can't remember what he looked like in the old game. Kind of want to see him again. He just kind of like randomly attacks you though as you're running around. Like,
Oh my god. Like, I swear these aren't the original graphics when you switch. Because it did not.
it did look like that. What are you talking about?
I mean,
It
Oh.
did.
I actually was challenging myself to actually do ladder 2 in the old graphics. But I did like 4 or 5 bail runs. No.
So did you guys know that this is actually a metaphor? This portal right here. So this is actually a human. If you look at it very closely, the head is at the top right there. The left and the right are the arms. The bottom left and the bottom right are the feet. And the portal is at the heart of man. So the portal to hell is in the heart of man. It's supposed to be a metaphor that basically, like, to get to hell, we have the power inside of our own very souls.
Whole bridge is built of skeletons and
Freaking
guts
bones.
and blood.
That's right, lots of dead people. That's interesting. I forgot that in the original game you couldn't have multiple auras displayed over top of each other and it alternated back and forth to show you what you were using.
They pulsed.
Yeah, they pulsed. Nowadays, now we don't have it anymore. They just all sit on top of each other, which is pretty cool.
Kind of like it the old way. I mean, like with the Oridans, like they got like 16 things going on.
Hmm.
All right, I'm back.
Grand Joel says like, "Oh, back after the Eternal Load D right now, looks fucking." Well, if you go back to like the resolutions back then, yeah, it looked a lot better back then because it was lower resolution.
Well, I think CRTs had a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
Nobody really played on LCDs unless you were rich.
yeah, at that time.
So I think CRTs actually had kind of like a mystical, magical, like post-processing thing that was inside of it. I've actually been running into this myself, like when I tried to stream GoldenEye 007 a little while ago. It was very dark, very hard to like see and interpret what was going on the screen. And as I did research into it, what I basically found out was, well, there was some sort of like mystical post-processing that was taking place like in the CRT television that apparently isn't happening inside the LCDs. And so like you have to somehow like make that post-processing happen on the LCDs somehow, either through like the LCD itself or like using post-processing inside the computer or something, but it just like doesn't really work out quite right.
Well,
Apparently-
it's a black setting. Is really what it is.
Well, I tried that too. Like, it doesn't really help that much. I'm not really sure how to fix it. Some people have suggested that there's like specific chords that have brighter. Like apparently there's like a PAL chord and like the NTSC chord and stuff like that, and different ones have apparently like a different setting on the brightness just coming from the actual chord itself.
Or you just wait till next year when the remaster comes out.
Blessings to you.
Oh, I literally already played. Like, I said, literally made a video. I was like, can't wait.
Oh no, I watched it.
I was having fun shaking off the rust.
Oh, the rust hasn't shaken off. Well, I wonder if they're going to keep the levels the same, because there's a lot of dirty stuff you can do with the proximity mines.
Oh, I used to put the proximity mines right on the armors because I had memorized all the armor locations, and so in like multiplayer I would just put a proximity mine right on the armor in a way that you couldn't see it. So you'd go to pick up the armor and it would immediately explode in your face.
Yeah, you put it like right below it. Yeah, I've done that.
I remember you could even put it on the armor, like if you like because the armor was like a 3D object. So like if you were careful with it, you could totally just like aim it inside the armor, like, and it would just go in it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you're pointing right below it. As soon as they try to pick up the armor, boom, dead.
Not here.
I used to have fun doing all sorts of stuff in that game. I was really good at GoldenEye back in the day. That was my jam. I used to take 3-on-1 in multiplayer and still win.
It's the precursor to all multiplayer shooters, I feel. Without GoldenEye, you wouldn't have your Halos and your Modern Warfares and all that stuff.
Everybody wanted in on the cake, too. When GoldenEye 007 did good, everybody wanted in on that cake. They were trying to make copycat games. There was all sorts of crazy stuff going on around that same time.
Mm-hmm.
The people who didn't have Nintendo 64s were upset because they didn't have a GoldenEye 007 on their console.
Well, Tomorrow Never Dies, so it's just kind of like a clone, but...
And I was like a little crap about the entire thing, too. I'd be like, boo-hoo. Honestly, the N64 was like one of the best systems. I know that there were other systems out there that had more games on it, but the fact that the Nintendo 64 came with 4 controller ports, I think, was like one of the main things. And they focused heavily on multiplayer games that you could play with your friends, like Mario Party and GoldenEye 007, and Battle Tanks was a really good one to play multiplayer. And like there were there were so many freaking multiplayer titles on this N64 that's what you did when you went over to your friend's house. You played freaking like a multiplayer game with everybody, whether it was a baseball game or a basketball game or GoldenEye 007 or Battle Tanks or freaking Mario Party, or you know.
I mean, Perfect Dark was one of the games I used to skip to my buddies.
Well, Perfect Dark was even better because it had bots, and you know, a lot of the times your friends would get upset if one of you guys was better than the other, so they didn't want to play against you anymore because you kicked their butt all the time. Well, the bots were like the perfect solution to that. So like you would be on a team with all human players, and then the bots you'd be against the bots. So it wasn't you against them. It was you know, us against them. You know. We used to have a lot of fun going against the bots too. We'd set them to like super freaking cheaty mode, and we'd still manage to win by using like underhanded tricks and tactics.
It took a lot. It was hard. And that was on the N64. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they had the bots on the N64. I wonder how they went about like making the bots work properly. I do remember Perfect Dark needed the expansion pack, so maybe that had something to do with it.
It didn't need it, but it helped. So when I bought when I got Perfect Dark, when my parents bought it, I didn't have the expansion pack, but it still worked. But the expansion pack helped everything. It was like a graphical upgrade, everything.
I don't know. I never played it without the expansion pack. I was actually looking at my N64 earlier. I still have the expansion pack. I have the I think it's the knockoff version I don't have the actual like legit version. This is yeah, Pelican accessories expansion pack. It has like a big top on it. I'm not really sure when I bought this, or I mean, I bought it. Let's be real. My parents bought it for me. I was a kid.
Game Shark.
I never had the Game Shark for the 64. I might have rented it. I think I might have rented it once when I was really young.
Oh.
I had the Dreamcast. I actually really liked the Sega Saturn. I didn't really as much care for the Dreamcast, but I really did like the Sega Saturn. It's actually kind of sad because if you read the story of the Sega Saturn, it got prematurely killed for no reason. There was actually a whole thing with the Sega Saturn where they were doing well. Apparently, the Sega Saturn was actually doing well, and
In Japan.
and they didn't like want to wait for the Sega Saturn to like live out its lifespan. And they pushed the Dreamcast through and killed the Sega Saturn. And the Sega Saturn, like, you know, what was doing okay. It was doing well, and it probably would have continued to pick up momentum. But by releasing the Dreamcast early, they killed it entirely. They just killed the Sega Saturn because nobody wanted the Sega Saturn anymore now that the new system was out. And they stopped development and didn't anything for the Sega Saturn. So they just killed it themselves, which was very silly.
Infinity work in polearm.
Infinity has been changed to work in spears. Yes, that was in 2.4. So if you are in Diablo 2 Resurrected, it will work. If you're in Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, it will not work. So only in the new version of the game.
I think Obedience works too.
Yeah, Obedience will work in spears now too. From what I understood on the video that I saw, they basically said that the United States branch did not want to kill the Sega Saturn. They thought the Sega Saturn was actually doing well in the United States. And apparently it was because there's two different branches. There was the United States branch and the Japan branch. And it was the Japan branch that wanted to kill the Sega Saturn and move on to the Dreamcast. And they got vetoed, I think.
No, USA got vetoed.
I can always look it up. It's been a little while since I looked it up.
Yeah. The Dreamcast only lasted, what, 2 years? For what, 2001 to 2003, I think?
Honestly, the Dreamcast was a failure after like 6 months. I'm best from what I remember.
Well, I mean, the worst thing is you had Power Stone 1 and 2. One of the best fighting games that could have come out for it at launch. And so I remember playing it when it came out. Like, this could be it. And nothing. Guilty Gear, the original Guilty Gear came out for Dreamcast, if I believe. If I'm correct.
Oh, there were a couple really good games on Dreamcast. I remember playing them.
Oh, there's a lot of good games that came out on Dreamcast. But nobody bought it because it was weird.
I don't know, what systems did the Dreamcast compete with? The Nintendo 64?
PS2, Xbox.
So it competed against the DVD player.
Basically, it
That's-
had no DVD player.
It's not fair competition.
That's what it is.
PS2 was a terrible system. Broke all
Whoa!
the time. It
Whoa!
broke all the time. It literally had so many defects early on. Couldn't
No.
read DVDs, couldn't read blue discs, couldn't read black discs, literally overheated and died on a regular basis. The
Whoa.
majority of the launch units basically all got sent back to the factory and literally replaced because
Sir.
PS3 is worse.
because
Sir,
the
that-
PS2 was literally a
Sir.
piece of garbage when it was launched.
Sir, you
But
are-
everybody bought one because it had
Sir,
a DVD
you are
player.
blasphemous. That is blasphemy.
Everybody bought one because it had a DVD player.
No.
And
put
not
it-
only that, but it was pretty much confirmed that for the first 2 years of the PlayStation 2's launch, nobody bought games. It had an attach rate of like 1, and it was the game that it came with.
The PS2 basically introduced games in Brazil. Like it introduced the games here. They never even thought there must be a big public in Brazil playing games.
Well, it was the cheapest DVD player at the time. It would have gotten ported everywhere.
Yeah.
At the
DVD
particular
player
time that it
wasn't-
was launched, there was literally no DVD player on the market that was cheaper than the PS2.
Player was PS2. Yeah, absolutely.
And because of that, it literally got purchased and like literally spread all throughout the world. But that's why Sony put it that way. Sony was the one that owned the patent on DVDs, so they literally positioned the PlayStation 2 as the cheapest DVD player on the market deliberately so that people would buy it. It didn't get bought because it was a really awesome game console. It got bought because it was a really cheap DVD player. And it was a crappy, really cheap DVD player too because it broke all the time. It wasn't until like 3 or 4 iterations later that they actually started making one that didn't break, like literally like right out of the box.
Once 2008 when they pushed it 3.
Even to this day, like you ask somebody what the best PlayStation 2 is, there's like no consensus. They're like, "Oh no, it's the fatty," or "No, it's the slim," or "It's the slim version 2," or "No."
Yeah, no matter what.
Or "I've got the fatty and my fatty's been doing just fine." I literally will come across people who tell me they have a launch edition PS2 that still works, and I'm like, "You sir have like liquid gold. You could probably sell that for like $1 million."
It's funny that we call
Yeah,
it
mine
the
still works.
coffin PS2 here.
The coffin PS2.
Yeah.
Another interesting fact that a lot of people don't know is the massive sales numbers for PS2 actually also include the shipped back units. So every time somebody shipped back a unit because it was a failure and they shipped back another unit to replace it, they were counting all those shipped back units. So every single repaired unit or every single replaced unit was being counted in the sales total.
Yeah.
My PS2 still works, man. I grew up with that shit, and
I mean, that came out like 3-4 years ago. So I mean,
I sold mine for probably $15.
I still use my PS2. I have it plugged on my computer. I play an emulator. Well, it's an emulator version of SOCOM 2.
But at the time frame, like pretty much all the consoles that were out at that particular time frame were better. They just didn't have DVD players. I believe the Xbox had like an upgrade kit. If I could be wrong about this. It might be the 360. I don't know, but I remember there being some kind of like DVD upgrade kit that you could get for the Xbox. And it was not like something that you got with the system. I can't remember which one it is. Because they were desperate. Like they realized it. They were like we need to have a DVD player in this system. Yes, it's called the Xbox DVD Movie Playback Kit. And it was something that was sold like later to allow the Xbox to play DVDs and stuff. Was it the 360? By then, of course, you know, the PlayStation 3 had Blu-rays, so that was another like leap in technology, and everybody wanted the Blu-ray player too. A lot of the original PlayStation 3s don't work either.
Well, I still trying to emulate it on PC.
But that was an entirely different thing, and I can't really blame Sony for that because that was the ball grid array failure. And the ball grid array failure thing literally afflicted everything at that particular time period. The Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, video cards, laptops, like literally anything that used that stupid ball grid array technology that they came out with at that time was like an absolute failure. And it would break at any given time. That was where the Red Ring of Death came from the Xbox 360. The PlayStation 3s had it. My video card freaking had it at that time. So it was just really crappy technology that never should have gotten adopted. Couldn't stand that. We had so many laptops come in with that problem. And so many times we would try and fix them, and basically we just end up having to tell we would just tell the person that it was unfixable, and we'd try and sell them a different not broken laptop. Yeah, it's called a ball grid array. Basically, what it is during the manufacturing process, the chip has all these little balls on it. The balls are the solder, basically. Every single one of the balls would be heated up to attach it to the board, and as soon as the board would heat up to a certain point, they would all pop right back off because the technology was just faulty. And every single device that used it was failing around that time period. Let me see if I can find the article on it. There was a lot of very interesting ways that people tried to fix it, though, like increasing the clamping force of the heat sink so that it would push down on it and make sure that it wouldn't pop off the board, and like wrapping it in a blanket so it would heat back up and the solder would melt and it would stick back down. Reflowing was a very common thing, but reflowing wouldn't help if it overheated again, because as soon as it overheated, it would pop back off, and then everything would go right back to how it was before, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is live. How come you don't have a name, sir? I do see a Nyan cat, though. What is your name? The fact that you don't have a name bothers me.
Alright, so we were wrong earlier. Top end is not 7.2k on Bone Spear, it's 6.2.
6.2?
Bone Spear, our teeth does a bit more though. It does 981 to 1235 on teeth, which is okay, but
it's not
like
enough.
I'm clearing Act 1, 2 with it, but Act 3 and up, I like 80 poison damage every 10 seconds would do more damage.
I mean, if you put your Xbox in the freezer, it'll probably get condensation on the inside and fry.
Hello.
Let's see if I can do...
Yeah, me, man. me. Basically, what you're doing by wrapping it in a towel is you're just making it overheat again. So the very same thing that causes the problem, the overheating, is the very same thing that can fix the problem, overheating. But then if it overheats again, it breaks again. So very, very simple. Like it will just keep happening over and over again. It's not a permanent fix. Never was a permanent fix. Every time we were able to fix them, they would always break again relatively quickly. Especially since for some reason, I've noticed that like CPUs that overheat tend to overheat again. I've many years over many computers, I've realized that once a computer like overheats badly one time, it is more prone to overheat badly again. And it just gets worse and worse from there. So like if the Xbox already overheated once to the point where it popped the chip, it's gonna do it again. Installing extra cooling inside of it might actually help. I'm not really sure if anybody ever tried that. remember I had to tell somebody to not bundle the Xbox with a bunch of games. Oh, it was Alan. That's right, Alan. Hey, Alan. Basically, he was trying to sell an Xbox. He had an Xbox with a whole bunch of games and like some really nice Xbox controllers, and he had like the full Monty, right? And he was trying to sell it as like one big lot. And I'm like, you'd probably be better off splitting it up. I'm like, I don't think anybody wants that Xbox 360. I'm like, they're probably not gonna buy it because they know the Xbox 360s are all pretty much garbage. Because they all red ring, and nobody wants the red ringed Xbox 360s. I was like, but those controllers are worth money. A lot of people on PC love to use the Xbox 360 controllers. The games are probably worth money because people probably have some working units that they maybe fixed themselves and they might want to run. And some of the Xbox 360 games also work in the Xbox One for backwards compatibility. So you also got that running. And I'm like, you got to part it out. I'm like, you can't sell it together with that system because nobody's going to want to buy it. And sure enough, he parted it out and everything sold except for the system, like relatively quickly. And them level 99 dolls definitely do pack a little bit of a punch there. It's a little painful, not gonna lie. Had to burn a juvie there to stay alive.
I need a key.
Everybody's like, oh, the game's too easy. All right, well, let's go on down to Terrorize Durance of Hate, all right? Let's go.
Terrorize Durance of Hate on hardcore.
Visit some dolls.
You said it's too easy, all right? I got you. All right, I got you. It's not too easy now, is it?
I think you said earlier in the stream, like, everybody's got, like, overpowered gear. Yeah, that does make it too
yeah, but when you're starting,
easy.
game's rough.
Are you kidding me? We're going to be in ladder. We're going to be starting this from scratch. Everybody's going to be naked little hobo knights. All right?
Yeah.
We're going to be scraping together like the garbage off the ground and trying to make it work.
Beginning of every season, that's why I always make. I don't have the benefit of having teleport because sork things, but I always make trapsin. Always. I get halfway through Nightmare with fire traps, and then I just switch over to lightning with corpse explosion.
I'm gonna be an ice maiden this time. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. Ice maiden is a very powerful class, like through most of the game. High damage, high crowd control. Usually has no problem with anything, even when they're like negative resistances, because they can lock down the majority of targets that they fight. They're pretty powerful, just in general. If I can get my hands on that Sunder charm.
Oh, then it's GG. That's literally your bottleneck on that class too. Well, bottleneck. I mean, you still clear pretty much everything. Just once you have that, you clear everything.
I'm a little afraid to start as a barbarian because I never started as a barbarian.
I mean,
you
barbs
have
are. Sorry.
With barbarians, you have the added benefit of being a group character. So you get the shouts,
Yep.
you get the very nice find item, but you are kind of like dependent upon your group. But you will end up with a lot of items, like horking them corpses. You're gonna get a lot of items. Like we've had some horking barbs hork some pretty crazy stuff, like early on, grabbing like really high runes. Mid runes, ohm runes, vex runes, all sorts of crazy stuff can pop out of the corpses.
At the beginning of this season, man, we dropped day 1. We got to Hell Trap, and our barb dropped the job. We're like, okay.
It's locked.
Lucky.
On a corpse find, well, on find item.
I am overburdened.
You still open to people joining your game?
What, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I'm just running around in frickin' Durance of Hate. You want to come down here and play with the dolls?
Not really, but
Not really. So you just want to come in here and make it harder for me, so I die to the dolls. That's what I heard.
Yeah, exactly. A level 78 pally looking for some experience leech in here.
Oh,
I wonder if he really will get anything though, since seeing as how this is a 99 zone.
Do you think Sazabi's Redeemer, like the weapon, would be good if they got rid of Indestructible and just made it friggin' ethereal? Or you could drop it Eth.
I don't know. It works pretty good on the Frenzy Barb.
Yeah.
The whole set though.
Yeah. It's just the damage is... I know you'd use it as an offhand, but... I don't know. It could be a good main hand if they just got rid of Indestructible.
It's really just the modifiers on the set. Like it has DR now. Lots of HP bonus. Like it's got a pretty high HP bonus on it. It was like 30, it's like 35% HP increase or something.
If you're spam running Chaos Sanctuary, you'll do a shit ton of damage because 318% damage to demons plus if you're using Laying of Hands, like it's a lot of damage.
I tend to be a little less impressed with off weapon AT. It's not as good as it like seems. Off weapon AT tends to be a little bit less amazing.
Yeah.
That's why they have 300% in damage to demons on the Laying of Hands in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. There's definitely more damage to demon items that you could be putting on though. I think I remember playing around with that one day to see like how high I could get it. Ooh, ouchies. Amp damage and dolls. No, thank you.
I don't like going down there. Those damn dolls.
Oof.
Well, it's just when the amp damage hits, then it gets extra nasty because they're physical damage monsters.
Dude, bone necros are so bad for killing bosses. Oh my.
Yeah, they're not the greatest.
Fully decked out. Still has like trouble killing Diablo in hell. Okay.
Well, everybody always like, they're always like, oh, corpse explosion is so broken, and like, corpse explosion is so powered. I was like, have you ever tried to kill a freaking boss on a like a bone necro that uses corpse explosion and relies on that as his main form of damage?
No, you run out of bodies.
I was like, there's no bodies, so
Yeah.
like, good luck.
And if you're in
Or
chaos,
getting
yeah,
killed
exactly.
boss.
I never like to rely on corpse explosion. Like corpse explosion is amazing. Don't get me wrong, and it definitely is an S tier skill. But there's just too many situations where it's useless. I mean, there's no corpses in there with Duriel. There's a bare minimum number of corpses in there with Andariel. If you want to like drag her around the room, maybe. There's no corpses in there with Diablo either, unless you want to drag him around the room, which is really difficult for him too. And then Bale, there's nothing. There's no corpses in there with Bale. And then like on a regular basis, you'll come across like zones that have monsters that don't drop corpses, like the Crystalline Passage. Those stupid little guys that just shatter on you.
That would be a good change, actually, if you can summon and shatter your own summons as a corpse.
Explode your friends?
I kind of like it as a balancing mechanic that it is a little bit more difficult to use. Like, because corpse explosion is broken as all get out.
Yeah, it is.
If you were to provide corpses for corpse explosion, you would just be a corpse explosion necromancer, and you just wouldn't even bother with anything else. Like, are you a bone spear necro? No. Are you a summon necro? No. Are you a poison necro? No. What kind of necro are you? I'm just a plop bodies on the floor and explode them necro.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Exactly. That's his name. How did you know that was the necromancer's name?
Mine is pretty bad. I won't say it 'cause
Perfection.
you're streaming. Is it just me, or they don't have very strong filters on this game, eh? For like character names and stuff.
No, I haven't really tried to put anything profane in.
Well, mine aren't anything racial. It's just like some stupid stuff. But it's
Yeah, they rely on the community to report it, basically.
everyone plays
Terrible,
alone.
terrible plan, huh?
Like the anti-boat system?
Oh.
Yeah.
is
Oh,
Meth
bot
terrorized?
spam
Meth
is
gonna be
terrible.
terrorized.
I'm convinced
Yeah,
that is
hey.
happening outside of the game.
Dude, this guy here's a boat. It's a bot. No, but we're getting XP from his runs, so let's not report him. Fuck.
I'd report every single one. I hated them bots.
It's locked.
Yeah, me too.
You can't break his immunity to lightning? That's crazy.
Yeah, some monsters don't get broken. But if I have the lightning thunder chime,
Yeah, it probably would, yeah. Yeah, I'm figuring out how the Sunder works. Like, I was testing it out on the hero editor. It actually just Sunders, so it literally strips the immunity, but then it minuses the res. So, like, if you don't have anything else, like, I made a fireball source, but with no other, like, minus to fire res, it still only tickled mobs.
Well, yeah, it
sets them
95.
directly to 95%. So unless you got that negative enemy resistance from other items,
Yeah.
you're useless.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
like
Yeah, that's what I was figuring out.
a really good early one for like say a Hurricane Druid or the Frost Maiden is the Wizen Draw. Wizen Draw is amazing. It's like negative 35% enemy cold resistance.
Yep.
Like you got to learn to utilize those amazing items.
Speaking of, do you think a Wind Druid would be pretty decent now with if you use Sundered plus physical damage?
Yeah, you could use the
Increased?
sundered cold, and you could use the sundered physical.
And the physical would give you 30% damage to your tornadoes. That's a pretty good amount.
30% damage.
Yeah, it says increases physical damage 30%. It's not minus resistance. You
No.
sunder
It's a positive to your incoming damage.
Meaning you take more?
You take 30% more physical damage.
Oh, whatever. I usually play my windy druids with a storm shield, so
And it can be countered by negative enemy your physical damage reduced by percentage. So Storm Shield is 35%, right?
yeah, exactly.
So it would counter the 30% and you would be left with 5.
5, yeah. But yeah, I usually use storm shield for max block plus the PDR.
Yeah, but Hurricane Druid is kind of a close range fighter anyway. Because the Hurricane is pseudo melee range. I don't want to say it's melee exactly, but it's pseudo melee range. It's like you're right there.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the long range like spear users can hit you within that range.
You can't touch them.
So it's close enough.
Yeah, it's about the same range as a Nova on a Sork, no?
A little bit smaller.
Okay. Hey, what's the pass to your game? I want to come make this harder for you.
It's just 16. It's always 16.
Oh, I didn't know.
Somebody paid me $2 and they were like, "What's the pass to your game?" And I was like, "It's 16. You could have saved your $2."
You should have been like, it's $10 for the pass.
So why is it 16?
Next time you got to pay. Why is it 16? Because it's my birthday.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. I'll charge if I want.
When I was a kid, I used to have an account on AOL. It was Cody61, and then we were cheating the system. You know how AOL always had those free things where you could sign up for another like a month or two or whatever for like the free deal, and then they would cancel it. So Cody61 was my first AOL account, and then we signed up with another one, and I had to come up with a new AOL account. So I reversed it to YDoc16.
What do you think of this? Sorry.
What stole it? What? I mean, it's a Hurricane Druid helmet, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of hard to compete with Jalal's, but it's definitely faster cast with +2 Druid, which is better than Jalal's non-faster cast.
Well, I was thinking more like along the lines of like faster cast rate for breakpoint in PvP with the dexterity for max block.
Oh. Yeah, so you're looking for something like very specific then.
Yeah, well, the only thing this would be missing for me to actually want to keep and use for PvP would be 2 sockets, but that's wishful thinking.
This is a great bow for fire enchant sorks.
Yeah, I've seen this. It's actually pretty nuts.
We got 2 of them. I just found that one.
Dude, look at this. I upped this and it rolled. It's missing 2 defense.
Why can I not open my inventory?
Oh, click on me.
I am overburdened.
It might have, because I clicked on you while I was opening the storage. It might have glitched us. No,
You did indeed glitch me, sir.
I told you I was coming to help.
Help with X quotations. Quotation in 1098. It's actually not bad.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to figure out. I'm like, do I just roll all of them? Because I had like 6, and I was like, if the defense is originally low, should I roll it? And then I remembered it's 500, and then you're rolling into a sacred, so you have to have the sacred roll perfect. So I was like, that doesn't matter, even if it's the lowest roll as an ornate plate.
So the funny thing is it doesn't actually roll. It's it's based off of the unique item modifier.
Yeah.
So we found this out by playing around with Hero Editor. So basically, every item has its own unique item modifier, and so when you upgrade it, it always upgrades to the same defense based on the unique item modifier. So,
I see.
So like you could find like 50 or 60 of them, and only one of them that has like the right unique item modifier is going to roll to the perfect value.
Hey, here's a weird question. Do you have charms like this?
Arkings?
I'm missing 27 of them.
This isn't even the highest damage one.
No, I know. By like 40 plus, basically, because I'm trying to make a Maul Druid with a 6 shell PB in bear form. But, like, you don't really do damage with Maul. And a 6 shell PB.
So you're trying to build a lightning bear?
Yeah, like emulating Fireclaw, but as lightning with stun.
You should probably just make a sorceress if you're going to do that.
Also
do bear form. Also get lightning mastery, and then use the same charms, which would beef up the charms immensely.
Yeah, but less defense and less health on a Sorg. A lot less. Like with BO and bear form, my bear's at and Oak, he's at 6.2k health. I don't think I could get a Sork that high.
I have no clue. I just know her damage would be through the roof.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because especially if you're using those arcing charms, I've actually built a character like that. One of my theory crafts, I literally just like filled her up with those like arcing small charms of what's the other modifier? It's like arcing small charm of shocking or something. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I basically filled her up with it and maxed out lightning mastery, and she just ran around like pretty much one-shotting everything. It was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I just found this in the last game. I got so tilted.
Superior Colossus Blade?
It's 10%. I was like, no.
No.
I can't even carry it.
I found this earlier. I actually thought this might come in handy for something.
Oh my god, hold on. They need to fix that, man. Not being able to click storage when like a player and Kane is in front of it. This would make a extremely nice stone.
And
I mean,
it's low level too. It's only level 25 because it's an ornate, and it's a ornate is obviously the highest defense exceptional. I think it's actually very good defense though, even for an exceptional.
I actually had an armor like this, a rare for my because when I used to do LLD, it was level 28 self rep ethereal. It was 1320 defense for level 28.
You want to see my super sexy armor that has the best graphics? Sure. So you gotta take off your shield so you can really see it. It's just the color modifier and the way that the armor looks. I'd totally love to just like transmog something with that. Like it just looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. Like, oh, that's not what I wanted.
It looks cool on like just about every character too. That's the crazy thing. Like I don't know why. Just like the ancient armor, I think mixed together with the the white effect, which I'm pretty sure is the saintly modifier. It's the modifier on the armor that has the defense based on character level. That's what makes it white. It looks really good on the assassin.
Dude, I found this at the beginning of season. Never even bothered to try and sell it. Didn't know what it was worth.
Vermilion Jewel of the Truth. Oh yeah, it's a nice little 15 damage jewel.
Yeah, with FHR. What I'm really trying to find are 18, 20, or 21, is it? Max damage LLD jewels. Those are hard to come by, though.
We had tons and tons of those being stored up and transferred around for players. We had, I think I got a 20 HP, or got a LLD life charm sitting in here somewhere. I was holding for somebody. I think I pretty much gave up, because I think they gave up.
Yeah, it actually gets really expensive. I'm still building mine.
There it is,
'cause
right there.
I just bring it over to softcore.
That's one of those level 18
15
ones,
life.
the ones that people like absolutely want to get their hands on.
Yeah.
You can have it if you want. I don't know. You do dueling. I don't really do a lot of dueling.
I
also
actually, 'cause, like,
found this one that I thought could be interesting for LLDer. I don't know. It's a level 16 fine grand charm with max damage and attack rating.
That's nice. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 4. Yeah, it's basically the max you can hit on max damage before going over level 16.
And also this one, which I feel like was also very nice.
Yeah, 6.
With cold
1, 2,
damage,
4.
which is also nice to have.
Yeah, I tend to, for LLD, I tend to make boas. Just because Arathas is broken.
It is.
And
I
then
tell
you
people
have
that all the
Twitch.
time.
Yeah, Arathas is insanely broken, especially in LLD duels, bro. Like, a sword
Well, it's
rolls
got
and you're
faster
just
run
like,
walk. It's got increased
Yeah.
attack speed. It's got
Pierce on
freaking
top of it now.
like pretty much
the
maxes
bow.
out all your resistances. Yeah, and the pierce
Uh,
gives you.
See, I found this
Was it
for
min
LLD.
damage? It's got min damage and like 20 dex on it.
I found this for LLD, which isn't terrible, but it has really high mana for a level 30.
I think I found something similar to this, and I held on to it. I can't remember where it is.
Dude, I just pushed G by accident. I forgot completely that when you have character and inventory open, if you go to the old window, everything is... You can't see your character anymore. That's crazy. Oh, these are garbage.
Yeah, Arctic's only recently got that canopy frozen. It's pretty nice though.
Oh man, that's a pretty sweet amulet.
Which one? I got tons of amulets.
The druid one. Two
Oh, yeah?
elemental skills with max blocking.
You should see my freaking assassin amulet. Hold on. I freaking rolled this thing, and I'm literally using it on my assassin because it's freaking godlike.
I've tried rolling so many amulets, didn't get anything like amulet wise.
Yeah, I was trying for a paladin amulet when I got this amulet, but honestly, like once I rolled it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use it. And I went and I actually built myself an assassin.
Two, 9, 21. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Like, not only does it have +2 skills, it also has 9% increased chance of blocking.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm using it to get 75% block, like, really easy. And then the 21 strength is fucking nuts, along
Wait,
with the
does
all-res.
Does the increased chance to block work with the double block?
With the Assassin's Claw block? No.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't? Okay.
I'm using it with the shield block because of that.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been nice, though, if it worked with the claw block.
This is a Phoenix Strike assassin. She gets in there and does a lot of damage. She's using Phoenix to go along with the fire claws and stuff like that.
Okay. Oh, Stonyfield Tristram. I hate when it's that zone because it's literally like tiny.
Very tiny. I could have sworn I had some. Some jewels on this character, but I guess not. Yeah, what I've been trying to get for the longest time was literally a +2 pally with 10% chance to block and all the rest. Never happened, unfortunately. I must have burned like every single Fel rune P emerald like in existence.
Well, I got today a 19 cast sorcerer's amulet, but only 1 skills.
This character is really strange. I built her with Dragonflight as her main ability. Ever since they fixed it.
Yeah.
You can actually use it now.
I think they'll ever add what's it called? Terrorize zone in for cows. That'd be cool.
It is.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It comes up as an unknown level has been invaded by, you know, whatever. Like it's a joke because it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I don't know, I haven't seen it.
I have a video up of it. I managed to get it while I was in public test realm. Vidalis set has nice pairs too, but quite honestly, Aratha's is much easier to work in with other pieces of gear. The thing about Arctic's, which really holds it back, is it has a bow. The thing about Vidalis that really holds it back is it has a bow.
Yeah.
So, like, when you think about Aratha's doesn't have all that craziness going on. It's just a helmet, gloves, belt, and amulet. Which means you can work in whatever weapon you want. You can work in whatever boots you want, whatever rings you want. You know, like you can work in whatever armor you want. It's a really open set that kind of lets you do whatever the hell you want to do, and I think that's why it's so freaking good. Works on just about any character because there's no weapon, there's no shield. You know, you don't have to worry about like being like tied down to a specific weapon or shield combo. Like, Hasaris is a really nice set, but that stupid shield holds it back. Arctic is a really nice set, too, but the bow holds it back. You know, and so forth and so on. Like, even Tancred's isn't a half-bad set, but that stupid weapon that it has is awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Eisenhart's is literally only good in the set. Like, you literally can't use Eisenhart's outside the set. It's garbage. But if you have the full set, it's good for, like, normal difficulty act. Like 1, 2, and 3. I don't know why they gimped that set so much to the point where it's literally no good unless it's in the set. Like almost none of the pieces have any use outside of like the full bonus. Deaths is great, the sword sucks, yeah. Same thing. But the 2-piece bonus for deaths is actually really amazing. That cannot be frozen, combined with all the nice effects.
So like the gloves and the belt?
Yeah, the gloves and the belt are absolutely great. They're actually best in slot for a couple builds.
It's best in slot for a lot of LLD too. Like people who actually do that.
Because you cannot be frozen at a low level like that. It's hard to beat. Unless you're going to use Hasaris. Hasaris has cannot be frozen now. which it didn't have before. They also
Really
added
problem.
cannot be frozen to Arctics, which it didn't have before. And they added it to one other set. I can't remember which one.
Good day.
The Berserkers and Cathans, they're not really worth talking about all that much. I'm gonna be honest with you. Berserkers is like a really low level set that doesn't really do very well past like Act 2. And Cathans is kind of like the weird set that's made for fire characters. Like it works pretty good on like an enchant sorceress like early on. And like a fire druid. You can actually use it on a fire druid decently. But the inclusion of the staff does make it a little bit difficult to use on the majority of your characters. And of course, good old Angelics can actually be used like 18 ways from Sunday. You can use the full set on a Holy X character, Fireclaw Druid. You can use partial set for the attack rating bonus. Like, you can actually use the full set for magic finding too, because it has some ridiculous magic finding with 2 rings. Yeah, it actually is kind of ironic that the Arctic set didn't have cannot be frozen before. Like, the entire set, even the name of the set, literally comes down to, hey, we're going to help protect you from the cold, and then they just left you out in the cold.
Good day.
I got a new member? When did that happen? Did I miss it? I did not see a new membership.
Yeah, you know what I have not found this season? I usually always find at least one.
What?
A grandfather.
Oh, we had somebody dual wielding grandfathers this season.
Seriously?
He was doing great too.
I love that sword.
He did a classic build. Like he went with all classic items. Still wreck shop.
If you build it properly, it's like if you dual them too, the damage is insane. Like besides the BOTD, there's nothing that does more damage than that.
All right, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'll be on tomorrow, I'm sure. I'm gonna make some more videos. Speaking of which, tomorrow Frost Nova's video is coming out, so I got a video on Frost Nova. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about Frost Nova, I'm sure that I'll ramble on for at least 16 minutes. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.